Happy Tuesday. The time is now 4:32. This was not planned. This just happened. So that is what? Descent? Okay, somebody's going through descent, okay? Those is when the numbers are going down. So the numbers are going down for someone. Don't know if that would be on a medical mechanism. Don't know if it would be on someone's pages. Don't know if it would be in a person's account. But somebody's numbers are going down. If it's not the scale or the what blood pressure machine, be careful of being hypoglycemic, okay? Hyper and hypo. Hyper means you're over the sugar index, and hypo means you're way below. Both can get you in trouble, both can be dangerous. Be aware of the symptoms: cold sweat, shakiness, uneasiness, lethargic. Pay attention, okay? Those are the symptoms, so you got to be aware, especially for those who drink white liquor. That is potatoes and rice, okay? So if you love starch and then you turn around and this is what you drink, just know that you're putting yourself well in the line of being a diabetic. Diabetics don't have a size for those who have ignorance, okay? Just because you're either really fat or kind of skinny does not mean that you are diabetic. But looks can be deceiving. This is why we have to go to the doctor and be aware. Some people that are big are supposed to be big. Some people that are small are supposed to be small. And contrary to what your belief is, some people are healthy just the way they are. You just have to stop with the stigmatism and assuming things. Unless you know, you don't really know. So just because a person seems to be big doesn't mean that they suffer with a lot of underlying issues. And just because a person seems to be small and fit doesn't mean that they ain't. Usually, diabetes looks so different. It has a range. I've seen some very fit-looking people suffer with diabetes type 2. So there's two different diabetes. So you have to be aware of that. So I did pull your coat to it. Pay attention to your sugar intake. Fruits have natural sugar, okay? So pay attention. Check out your starches. Check out how your body is reacting to starches. One good way to find out if you have gluten resistance or if the carbs are doing a little bit too much in your life, look at your elbows. Feel your elbows. If you feel your elbows and it feels like braille, you may have a gluten resistance, okay? You might even have a little issues with carbohydrates. But that is one way, not always, not foolproof. It's not specific, but it is one way to test if your body is at least somewhat resistant to something in your food. Usually gluten and carbohydrates. Hope that helps, okay? I didn't come here starting to say that, but it just pops out. Okay, so drinking water. I realized that the coffee, I like the coffee. It's beautiful, but I like being hydrated more. So pay attention to how coffee affects you. When it's hot, I don't need to be drinking it. It's going to dehydrate me. So pay attention to how your body responds to everything. Your body is a working science project. How dare you not pay attention to the mode and control of your working science project? It's you, okay? So last night, hopefully everybody had a great night. For those who are going through ascension symptoms collective, was it beautiful for you as it was for me? I always know when something good and extra is coming through for me on the spiritual side, because they start really ramping up the antics, right? They send chaos, and then they try to catch you slipping a few times. They send you a little bit of energy here and there. and then they get quiet because it's like they're trying to rock you to sleep, right? So last night I had a rebirth. It was like I was aware, I was awake, but it was like a good, happy feeling. It was like I got excited and I didn't know exactly what I was getting excited for. I was like getting excited for bedtime. And the closer I got to bedtime, the more the chaos agent was trying to do all sorts of stuff. I was like, is this so bored? What the hell is going on? It was like, boom, 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 boom. I was laughing my ass off. I was like, oh, this must be gonna be good. Cause they don't usually send a riffraff through unless something good is coming through, right? So I got all excited and I got ready for bed, and I closed my eyes and it started happening like in small, beautiful, like celestial waves. And then next thing you know, I was gone. And then I caught myself in like, pardon me, movie buff, like Slarface. If you've ever seen the cone heads when they sleep and they go so I don't know if you know if you've ever been through ascension symptoms, death and rebirth, right? So it's real. So it happened. And it doesn't take long for it to happen. Just know that when it happens, you like, okay, I'm finally here. I'm here. I'm here. It's like passing through a colorful, wavy curtain, and then you see darkness. And then through the darkness, it like starts orbing out. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, hello, hello, hello. Reborn, rebirthed here again. Okay. Conch. Some people in indigenous places, they cut off this part and they use this part to fashion a horn. If you've ever seen Aquaman, they use something like this as to blow horn. Also makes me think of Daniel. It makes me think of the horn blower. Gabriel. It makes me think of the sound off. There is a hole in it right there. These things usually carry little small animals called conchs. It's a sea creature, urchin, something like that, and they eat it. They eat it raw. They eat it steamed and cooked. It's a delicacy, a nice dish. But yeah, this shell, it is not only a shell. It protects a soft animal. It protects a delicacy. It protects a rare thing. Well, not a rare thing, but something that almost would go extinct if we started bothering its precious ecosystem. But still the same, this is a home. So this also represents a home as well as a alert system in some places. So it's like I answered a call. So I answered a call, and it was a call home. It was a call home to my natural self, to my the way I am. It was a call home to let me know that I have definitely landed where I'm supposed to be. Seashell. Beautiful. Okay, so good morning. I can't get over how good I feel this morning. Knowing what I know, knowing what we've shared, knowing that the journey is real, and that there are other people just like me, because I don't feel, like I'm the only one that God loves, but just to know that you're one of them, just to know that He knows you and your name is in the book of the living, and He has deeper plans for you than you could have ever imagined. Sure, I imagine things in grandiose at times. Everybody should at least think big about themselves and their future. But to know that that is part of the plan, that you kind of had it right, and that you're still moving forward despite people trying to take away all the good things, still leaving you with good things. They're just taking the things you're ready to give up. It's wow. Is anyone else going through this experience? This is my testimony after narcissistic abuse from family systems, from romantic partners, even a little encouraged narcissistic abuse from the child. You understand? And to know that God said you had to get these experiences so that you could talk about them and help guide and help provide solution and direction. And to know that He allowed you to go through it and pass through it and survive it, just so that you could come out on the other side and let people know what it's like when you're walking with the divine, when you are walking with the Most High, when you actually take God's hand and say, you know what, I'm going to stay with you, and you keep going. And He's like, yeah, you see that? Check that out. Go take that ride here. Go a quarter here. Get on that pony, and when you finish, come back, tell me what it's like. It's like your dad took you out on a ride, and he's every so often he pulls over and says, all right, now go experience some life, and you come back, you tell me what happened, and we're going to go to the next stop. And you're like, dang, Daddy, you're cool. You're really cool. That last stop wasn't that funny, but yeah, Dad, you're cool. You get it? I am so thrilled. Hopefully you are thrilled. This is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Happy birthday to those who are in celebrating. Happy anniversary. Happy celebration. Just Mazel Tov. Feliz Navidad. Whatever. However, Opa, something like that. It is a day for celebration every day, but I am feeling, however, so much gratitude. The attitude is definitely gratitude this morning. So we're going to get into a general reading after we give some thanks to the MVP, the Most High. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Because He didn't have to do it. He doesn't have to wake us up. He doesn't have to feed us. He doesn't have to let us see and taste and talk and touch. He doesn't have to let us survive. He doesn't have to let us breathe. He doesn't have to let us remember the experience. Oh God, thank God for for a right mind, and sure steps. I'm loving God not because it's cute, but it's the truth. It's such a blessing and such a lesson to keep coming every day and having this experience with you all. I know, I hope I'm not sounding too cliche. It's just that I am so grateful, so thankful. And to be aware and to be able to put it into words and to be able to describe it, it's like I've been experiencing all this bliss all my life without ever having the words to explain exactly what was going on. But now, since this whole elevation of the mind and consciousness, I can actually see even the smallest thing, like a leaf falling from a tree, has a lesson for me. And it's awesome. It is just so awesome. Our God is an awesome God, and He reigns forevermore, okay? Forevermore. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different, okay? If He can save anybody, He can save you. If He can save anybody, trust me, He saved me. He saw the things that were happening, and He was like, let's calm this down for a minute. I love it. I love it. Divine intervention. Oh, they do not tell you how much water you're going to need on an awakening. They not going to tell you how thirsty you're going to have to replace some of the electrolytes, because it's like you did a whole workout in slumber, in REM sleep. So, yeah. So start going to sleep with that bottle. You never know when this is going to happen. Trust me, when it happens, you're going to wake up and dang near do a daggone cartwheel. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful feeling. Your body feels good. It's like you feel like you've done some work, but it don't feel bad. If you've ever had one of those beautiful workouts where your body just feels alive, it feels tight. It feels like you could bounce a quarter off of a bed sheet type tight. Like you're ready. You're ready to spring in action. I mean, boy. Ascension. Okay. I've been thinking of X-Men lately. Jean Grey to be exact. Remember how many times she had to go down before she actually came back up as the effervescent uh Phoenix, as she came through, and how she burnt at the supernova level. Like she reached degrees that nobody else would. And at that temperature, you have the potential to burn off impurities. Okay? So ascension feels a lot like that part. Okay? I don't know how else to explain it at this moment beyond that Jean Grey moment. Okay? It's like going into cerebral, Charles Xavier's big brain thing. And it's like you're laying there and it's like a Bluetooth comes on. And this Bluetooth doesn't connect you to just regular folk. This Bluetooth connects you to the stars and everything. It's just however, so somebody's played their cards, right? Do we remember Gambit? Gambit was he was a character that did cards, right? And somebody's flicking the cards and they're expecting some explosive things to happen from the cards. If you remember Gambit, that was his superpower. He flipped the cards. He took the playing cards and they did explosive things, right? So somebody's flicking the cards and they're expecting something explosive to happen because they're Gambit. Excuse me. Mm, yeah. So Gambit was a New Orleans based character. He was supposed to have been Creole, okay? And he flicked the cards and they blew up. So if you're familiar with X-Men, it's about having, said extra things happening to you. There's also somebody who's like Mystique. That's another unmistakable character. That's the one that's able to totally shapeshift, but her original form is blue. She has blue skin, and her skin actually helps her change into another person. So it's somebody who has maybe a multiple personality disorder, or they just maybe just don't like their personality, so they adapt other people's traits and personalities in order to fit in, because they don't really believe that that they fit in at their natural state. So it's something like that. But something that we all know about Mystique is that she was used very early on in her development, and that caused her to have a froward heart. She was very contrite. She was very cold, still hardened by her life experience. Not saying that she did not have a right to be upset, because once you go through a few things way too many times, you get stuck that way. It kind of sticks with you how you feel. However, there is a possibility to change. I remember that Charles Xavier, even at some point, Magneto, the person who basically did cause a lot of her pain. I remember at some point everybody tried to be a little bit more human, especially Mystique. But because she was still hurt, no shadow work was ever done. I mean, that would be a lot of shadow work. But yeah, no shadow work was ever done. So even her attempts at even being a little bit more humane and trying to be normal, even though she can appear normal if she wants to, in her natural state, she does not look like that. And that hurt her. That really hurt her, knowing how her originality, her original form, was a barrier to her and people, because people were very judgmental on first sight. Of course, they thought her skin was beautiful, but they didn't understand it. So they wanted to study it. They wanted to take her apart. They wanted to damage her because she was so unique. And the thing about it is, she herself was just a small girl in the beginning. She had no control over these gifts. She didn't even know she had these gifts until they came. And it seemed like it was the biggest stain on her life. But this is the thing: you can make lemons into lemonade. Unfortunately for her, her heart, it took a lot of damage, and she was unable to successfully change her trajectory. But she did find her tribe, destructive as it was. She did find her tribe, but it nearly destroyed her several times. It destroyed her for a lot of reasons, and she really did love Charles Xavier. However, they no longer had the same path. She couldn't go with him where he was going, and he surely couldn't go with her. So, in that, we also have to understand that some people, as much as we might like to be with them or want to be with them, it may not be what we need. It may not be safe. It may not be good for us. You saw a true friendship grow, develop, and be poisoned by the environment and the circumstances handed out to them. So they did have to part ways, and this is a reality in a lot of our situations. Sometimes you grow up from the sandbox, from elementary, from the playground, and at some point you realize that this person isn't a nice person, or this person isn't going to be great. This person likes trouble. Trouble attracts to them. Things like that. So as you grow older, you can't be afraid to detach when something no longer works, when the innocence is no longer there. And there are so many adults who are still playing the playground outcast. They're still acting out even though they're adults, and it's no longer a game. This is not something you can grow from. Now this is a real personality. This is how I'm able to identify you. And not that a person grew bad on purpose. Like I said, the cards have been dealt, and sometimes you just have to play with the hand that you're given. And when you grow apart from people, whether it be romantic, platonic, or family centered, you have to pay attention to those signs and synchronicities. It may be time for us to part ways and never come together again, okay? So there's something like that, something very melancholy, something where somebody does reach back and try to pull on the memories. Even though there were some horrible, horrible times, there still were some bright moments, okay? There was still some silver linings to some of those clouds. However, you still have to make the decision that is right for you and your situation. No matter how many memories, good or bad, that you have with someone, as you become an adult, some things you just can't let slide. Some things you can't pull the wool over your eyes to. You have to recognize it as what it is. Maybe the person wasn't ever bad to you, but they have a tendency to do a lot of bad shit to people and then come around you. So you see how that can expose you a little bit, or at least make you look compliant and complacent with the things that are being done. So you see, sometimes even the people who you really want to hold close, you can no longer entertain because of the liability and the chance that they do bring up. So being mindful, being aware, and knowing if it's worth the investment. I mean, as a child, as a kid, as a teenager, you can kind of afford some horrible friendships. You can afford to hang out with the class clown. You can afford to hang out with the klepto because you don't know what's going on. You don't know their family situation. But as you get older, it's really, you can't hang out with Stifler and them. You can't hang out with people who still keep those same antics up, because it's going to get in the way of your growth. Okay, it's going to get in the way of your reputation, your legend, your legacy, and things of that nature. Imagine you being a great person, but all of your childhood antics outweigh everything you're growing to be. You understand? So there's somebody like that who's unable, because they're basically kind of locked into the things that they did in the past. And instead of giving themselves a chance or distancing themselves away from the things of the past, they hold on to it because that's their identity. For them to let that go would mean that they would actually have to do some work and actually building themselves up from that point. And some people just don't want to do the work. They want to be the good time guy, the good time girl. They want to be the most popular, even though those days are over, because popularity never paid a bill. That sort of thing. So just remember to grow, guys, and be aware of growth and embrace it. Sometimes it doesn't feel good having to grow. It's not going to always feel comfortable when you're in a new situation that you've never been in before, but you have to give yourself enough time to adjust if you like that situation and if you truly invested, okay? So, yeah, just remember to try to move forward, try to move past things, try to make things lessons and blessings instead of victimize yourself and become the damsel of your distress, okay? Don't get to flailing every single time. Sure, you need help. Sure, there's a panic button. Sure, you may need a moment to crash out, because that's humanity. But try to get it back together. Don't stay gone too long. Don't stay shut down too long, because it's really hard if you put yourself down to get back up. So be easy on yourself. Love yourself. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself flowers on those days. Put on something that makes you feel nice. Take that nice bath. Take few extra moments, 10, 15 moments. Buy that decadent soap that smells so good when you enter the aisle. Just invest in those skin creams. Take some time for yourself. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. You will enjoy it. Life is about learning not only about the outside, but the inside of yourself and how that applies to the outside. What does that make you feel? Does that evoke a feeling in you when this happens, that happens? Me personally, I love it when I get shopping cart karma. I don't have to wait and put my quarter in the cart to get it. Somebody's just walking out and they haven't removed their quarter yet. So you just do here's the quarter, and they give you the cart. Like, that's great to me. I don't know. I start from the small things, and it usually builds to big things. But yeah, shopping cart karma. Sometimes you go to these stores and there's barely a cart, or you get the shaky cart or the cart that doesn't want to push around the store, and it makes it look like you're forcing it. Sometimes you walk straight up and somebody's coming out and they're like, here. Sometimes they're even like, keep the quarter, pay it forward. That's just nice. You know what I'm saying? It's not too hard to get a person to smile or to give them a moment where things are just a few seconds easier, okay? All right. So life can be like that. Life is but a dream, okay? Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Roll, roll, roll your boat gently by the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yeah. Fred Astaire. I don't know what made me think of that. But yeah, moving on to calmer waters, okay? That would be the Six of Swords if I was doing the cards, if I was throwing cards. Keep in mind, I don't always use the cards. I am an oracle. I use the cards as a tangible excuse to give you great pictorials and show my beautiful card selection, as well as give you a tangible portrait so that you can draw your own conclusions through the signs and the synchronicities, okay? Also, giving a person a chance at numerology, because other people read messages different, okay? Some need pictures, some need numbers, some need body parts, right? Some use runes. I'm not too elaborate in the runes yet, but hey, learning is fundamental, okay? All right. So let's grab a hat. Let's grab a hat. Hat, 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 hat. Hat, 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 hat. Let me grab that. Let me get a hat, hat. Boom. Let's go. I like this one. This one makes me want some long elbow length gloves. I still have my purple one from that premiere at Second Chance. The second film that I did a little cameo in it, but it really was the house that they used in it. I don't know. It was filmed by Alvin Gray and Desi Alexander, right? They did it. It was called Flood. Flood. I don't know. I think yeah, something happened with that movie, but it was called Flood, okay? I think Jess Hilarious was in it as well. But yeah, that was the other movie credit right then and there. Yep. So Second Chance with Antonio Mosby and that crew. He was the producer on that one. And Flood with Desi Alexander and Alvin Gray. I think it's 901 Productions, something like that. Okay. Excuse me. Karma Belches. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And shout out to those people. I forget. I don't know. It wasn't the best contract. However, they did offer me a decision. And ultimately, I tossed it back because it wasn't utilizing my skills to the best. And the contract wasn't the best. So, shout out to those people for even, coming through. That was nice, a nice experience to be able to, negotiate a contract. And yeah, that was wonderful. But yeah, looking forward to more things coming in the future. It's like everything is back on track. Engine number 9 on that New York Transit line. If my train get off the track, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Back on the scene, crispy and cream. Hey, stop, hold up. My energy be off the hook sometimes. I told you. Woo, yeah. I told you that the energy is like, yeah, I want my Hercules. By the way, did anybody catch that film Odyssey? It is 3 hours of niceness. I just wanted you to know. It had a lot of little signs in it. It was really good. It was very telling, especially, I'm not trying to tell the movie, but this is the part about the strange woman. How he tried to make it back, but it was some stuff going on and he got lost with the strange woman. Okay. So, shout out to Odyssey. Shout out to the Spider-Man boy. He is having one of the best years. I love it when actors get a good run like that. Oh my gosh. Michael B. Jordan had one. Shia LaBeouf had one. Idris Elba had one. Shoot, it seemed like Delroy Lindo ain't never get off, okay? So, shout out to those who be having those good runs. I mean, they be in every movie. You be like, hold up, you in that? Hold up, you in that? Hold up, you in that? Shout out to Zendaya with her beautiful self. Oh my goodness, this lady is statuesque. Like, let me just shout out to my peoples because these people, they're not pedestal, but you can appreciate the work that they've been consistent and the things that they've done. They do big think pieces, okay? So yeah, shout out to Zendaya. Shout out to my girl Tiana Taylor. Like, I mean, I make struggle look good, but Tiana Taylor, boy, if I can struggle like that, look, I eat too much for that shit. But I'm trying to tell you, that girl look good, okay? That girl went through a divorce, some kids, and everything, and still look like that. Well, damn. Her mama put out some good genes, daddy too. But she doing it, okay? She doing it. She is doing it. Them kids got a lot to step up to, okay? Yeah, they doing it. So shout out to everybody who is going happily through their ascension. They ain't let nobody come up and punk them and push them down. You see how the enemy kept trying to step to us. You know what I'm saying? We had divorce, we had people, we had children, we had traffic, we had the weather, we had food insecurities, we had the government shutting down and cashing checks every chance they got, talking about some we can't do the work, but you better show up and we gonna get paid regardless. Like they gangstered the shit out of us. It was like, special session. I'm gonna use that special session to trick on taxpayers. Yeah. Where's the favorite taxpayer? Is it you? Come on to the office. We had them out here acting a damn fool. They found access through one of them back doors. Next thing you know, it was like, you can't have any gray poupon. You like, hold that, bitch, I made it. Hold up. So we did have an uptake in entrepreneurs and everybody's so creative. We got all that going on. But we also got to see how funny folk act when they got money, especially money that ain't theirs, okay? They was happy to spend it because it wasn't theirs. It was ours. They just weren't going to tell us. They was like, you broke it. We like, well, yeah. We don't understand. We're doing the work, but why are we damn broke? We keep showing up for work, and you keep calling out, but you keep showing up with some nice shit. Hey, that's mine. Some of these folks gotta get out the way. They've been playing in everybody's face, sitting up there lacing people's stuff up and all them things and setting you up, and you're thinking that, oh, this person following me. This person like, no, this person keeping an eye on your ass because you is the money. You is the money. And it's definitely a Ponzi scheme. A lot of people didn't know what the other person was getting. All they know is that they was going to get a cut. Some got 4%, some got 40%, some got 20%, some got 90%, some got some Gucci. Some got a record, some got a case. Some got some heads, some got some face. Oh gosh, oh gosh. Either way, they all signed deals and contracts that don't seem to be coming through right now. And for the ones who signed the good contracts, how you like it? How you like it? Now that the ink is dried, are you still okay with your investment? Okay? All right. Yes, indeed. It is a re-reckoning, a resetting. People are starting to look both ways before they cross, okay? You want people looking both ways before they cross you. I need you to know that shit sting if you're going to cross me, okay? I'm coming at you with razor blades and lemon juice. I'm going to need that to sting, okay? All right. So, now that we got things in order and people are being addressed, hey, who named that shit in? Hey, who last name? Where's that going? Start to ask the real questions, because I be danged, all right? All right. Yep. Sometimes you got to look people dead in the eye and say, well, where the hell did that originate from? And sit there and watch them stutter and... because a lot of people took you for granted. They took your easygoingness for granted. They never thought that you'd ask a question and then sit there, hold up, this is the happy part, and wait for an answer. And actually look them in the eye and expect the truth. They never thought that they would have to think past that moment. They like, who the fuck? I thought because I was here and I gave you that chicken wing box that you couldn't question me. I fed you before. Ooh. You all right? You off your rocker? Cause this a new day. This a new day. So some people feel as though they bought your loyalty or they bought your quietness or they bought your shut up. They feel as though when they come in the room because they've done something for you at some point somewhere in the wild vast universe that they have instilled your lifelong unconditional loyalty and love. In the great words of Janet, Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. What have you done for me lately? Ooh, yeah. So somebody got to get up off their high horse because now with some questions being asked, people want to know where was you getting at when all this came about? All right, why was you stirred up to so much trouble? And whose name is that shit in? And where it came from? And was some of it mine and you didn't tell me? You understand? Yeah. Because people be trying to, they like, well, you didn't know. Yeah, well, you did. So somebody's going to try to feign ignorance. They going to try to, They going to try to country dumb the heck out of it. They going to try to feign like they got Alzheimer's, dementia. They having a Freudian slip and all that. But they were really secure and really sturdy when the shit was going down. You'd be surprised who reach out to you when they no longer on that high horse. You'd be surprised who tap on your door. Please, sir. Please, sir. Porridge. Porridge. But when they was heading out of town to get them steaks and them lobsters, you wasn't know damn body. But now you and your little small ration starting to look a little gourmet, huh? Yeah. You and your little domain. You and your four walls and your roof and everything. You and your Kraft cheese delights. No, you don't have the Gouda and the Gruyere. You got Kraft singles. Now all of a sudden your Kraft singles would be great. Oh no! Stay over there with your beluga and your feta cheese that you was stealing money to get. Stay over there. Yes, yes. I think I'll let you stay over there. So, how oh look how the mighty have fallen. There will be some changes. There is a changing of the guards definitely coming about. Let's get on to the scripture because yeah. All right. So we are in 13, Proverbs 13. Let's get it. Let's get to the tarot. I've got Ethereal this morning. Beautiful deck. Love this deck. I always say it every time I take it out. Let's go. 13. That's crazy. Death and Transformation is that card. That is the 13 card. That is also Scorpio energy. We're going to start in Scorpio this morning since I said that. Because death and transformation is something sometimes what you got to do. A lot of people, when they hear death, they don't understand that death is a part of life. It's a part of living. If you've never seen a plant die and regenerate, if you've never seen, there are certain things that pretty much have to go through a little bit of something before they flourish. And it's just like us. A lot of times we have to go through a few things that awaken us before we actually get the clue that we need to move on and flourish from there, okay? Some start early like birds. Birds, they wake up, come out the shell. Their mom's like, hey, move your wing, move your beak. All right. Boom, push you out the tree and you got to figure it out, okay? And some of us are different. Some had to stay with mom to a long time. Some are like kangaroos. They got to stay in the pouch. They got to be sheltered. They got to be nurtured. They've got to be modeled things after, right? So just pay attention to what type of person you are. Who's your spirit animal? What do you align with? Some people are like birds. They're ready to fly. They're ready to soar as soon as they get some strength in their wings. And some people had no other choice. They got pushed out of the nest and they just had to take a crash course and getting up out of there, okay? So be mindful of everybody's struggle. Everybody didn't get the same. Some people are way behind, not because they didn't get help. Some people are way behind because they got too much help. They got enablers. They got people to support bullshit, and they just never stop supporting it. So some people are handicapped by their help, where some people don't have any help at all and they're thriving because they had no other damn choice. And some people didn't have any help at all and they weren't able to get past a few different obstacles, and it ultimately knocked them down. Everybody's journey is different. So be aware of where you fall at. Know your latitude, longitude, not to take it for granted, not to bring shame. If you had a lot of support, then you should be able to use it in some kind of way to get somewhere. If you've got a lot of support and you're just hanging around stagnated, hey, I ain't saying, but I'm saying, there's no way you should be not flourishing if you got a lot of people supporting you. Because if that's the case, if you got a lot of people supporting you, what are they supporting you to do? And then you've got to ask the next question. If I haven't flourished from here, then maybe they are the sabotage. Maybe I'm sabotaging myself by keep being around them because I don't see a point in hanging in a bunch of people and nobody's going no damn where. That just makes no sense at all. So, yeah, like I said, some people, they get support and it makes them flourish, and some people get stagnated because that's not support, that's enabling. And some people don't get any support and they flourish, and some people don't get any support and they crash and burn out. So don't ever take anything for granted. If you find yourself without the support yourself. Learn. It's easier said than done, but it is accomplishable. Okay? And sometimes if you got too much support, you got people who are okay with you being mediocre while they go on and flourish right beside you. You got to look at that. Maybe this person, they might have wished me well, but they didn't want me to be any better than them. They didn't want me to surpass them. And that's also another perspective to look at. Sometimes they want you a part of the group because if you should pull away, you'll take the lead. I think that's the reason why I never liked cliques, and I think that's the reason why cliques never liked me, because they realized that they wasn't about to take up a bunch of my time. I don't care how much I hang. I know how to pack my shit up and leave. That's been one of my sticklers. As much as I be hanging, I will get that moment, look at my watch, check my time, and I be like, okay, I will quietly get up and roll out. And I think that was one of the reasons why I lost a lot of other friend groups, because I'm not the type to just give you a whole itinerary on why I just got up and why I'm leaving and if I'll be back. I'd be like, it's my time to go. And then I might go do something very constructive. And then I used to, at the time, come back, right back to the destructive area after I just did a whole bunch of constructive shit. And then I'm sitting there with a bunch of destructos. No wonder they thought I was like them. I really wasn't. I would actually go get up, use them as the example and the inspiration, and not to use my time doing dumb shit. Go do some good stuff, and then come back and sit with them like, hey, how y'all folks doing? What y'all doing? Because I got some time to bullshit. I just got a head start on something. I didn't tell them I got a head start on it. I would just come back and bullshit with them for a few more minutes before I went off to do some more stuff. So a lot of times they didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was going to work. I was going to the library. I was going to go do some research and things of that nature. So oftentimes a lot of people didn't know what I was creeping off to go do. I was actually creeping off to go be great. I mean, for me, that's what you do in your spare time. You like invest in yourself. So that was pretty much my motto. That still is my motto. I don't see it any other way. So let's keep going. So Proverbs 13. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that openeth wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of the sluggard desireth and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. You shall be fat and flourishing if you should invest in yourself. But those who keep on contracting themselves outside of themselves, you are then passing out your things. Okay? All right. A righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. There is the that maketh himself rich. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. That I want to say that again. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. Don't let that fly over your head. I just went over that a little bit, okay? All right. The ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor heareth not rebuke. Yeah. Unfortunately, once you get it, it changes the whole trajectory of life to have something. So you have to be very careful. It's a precarious time to have something, especially around people who don't take any value in it and they feel as though they have nothing. Okay? All right. Okay. The light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. Only by pride cometh contention, but with the well advised is wisdom. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life to depart from the snares of death. Good understanding giveth favor, but the way of transgressors is hard. Every prudent man not deleteth. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. Be careful making your eyes bigger than your stomach. Some people took on things that were way too big for them. Some people took on things trying to be bigger than the program. However, they did not have the stomach for the consequences, nor the reproof or the conviction that followed such deeds. Amen, Selah. So be it, so let it be. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Alicia Keys, this girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. Yeah. All right. So, I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I'll never love someone the way that I love you. Ooh. So somebody's going through a hot and cold type of love bomb situation. Someone is attempting to pull someone off kilter by love bombing them and then pulling away, but they're not doing it in the big way. They're doing it very subtly. They're saying they're going to their sister's, their mom's house, their homegirl's house, their homeboy's house, their cousin's house, their brother's house. However, that person is not related to them. Um, in some cases, that person is related to them. They just are having a romantic situation that nobody's supposed to know about. Okay. All right. So there's a situation where I think there may be cousins or something that are kissing cousins. They are romantically involved. However, no one knows. They just think that they're close family members, but there's more to that. Someone's also gotten a red flag. They saw a movement, they saw an action, they saw something that was consistent with them being lovers and not friends, not cousins, not platonic, but actual romantic. So someone's going through something like that. Someone's also being love bombed by said person who has the outside influence going on. Um, this person feels like they're in competition with someone who's supposed to be family, but honestly, you are. That's a lover. That's not just a family member if it is a family member, okay? So somebody's going through love bombing because it the person needs you to be very confused and off balance so that you don't really question what you're really seeing, okay? Somebody is also messed with a sibling, an actual sibling. We're not talking a mother of a step or in-law. We're talking about a straight up sister brother situation. That's also something about. There's also some kind of love child out here. Could be you, could be me, could be anyone in the collective, but there is a love child that's a secret. The way in which they got created, born, their parentage is something questionable. It's some type, something like that. Someone also has a otifice, a edifice. I think they otifice, edifice complex, something like that. It's taboo love. Somebody is in love with somebody in their family. If they haven't physically engaged with them, there is an unreasonable love there. Unspoken, unrequited love that is quite taboo. However, the only way to move through that generational curse is to be transparent and pray and identify it so that you can understand why you're reacting that way and what's going on, okay? Contrary to American history and what our grandparents and grandparents and grandmères would like us to forget is that incest wasn't just a racial thing. It was a proximity thing. It was a convenience type thing, and a lot of our family members want to skip over the fact that it was very real and realistic for us, where if they couldn't get supply outside of the house, they would look for supply inside of the house, no matter who it was, okay? There are some cultures that came up with the tradition of having the father break the daughter's virginity. However sick that is, there are some cultures where they are accepting of that. And yeah, if anyone should be doing magic, why don't you do magic on that? I mean, if you're great, if you're so great and you're wonderful and powerful, do something about credit scores, do something about world hunger, do something about the shady politicians, do something about rapists and pedophiles. No, you're too busy doing parlor tricks to impress some dude or some woman or to be a thief. You're not doing anything great. You're not fixing FICO scores. You're not curing cancer or anything. Yet you just want to beef with your neighbor or the chick you seen walk down the street and she actually was more attractive than you, or the guy who looks like he has a bigger thing than you or a bigger paycheck or whatever, you know. So, yeah, you guys say you're so great, but you're not doing great things. You're doing parlor tricks, minstrel tricks. Hey, look at me! But you're not fixing any damn thing, and that's the issue I got with you. Because, I mean, shit. There are bigger fish to tackle. You're worried about somebody's Netherlands. You're worried about someone's loins that are almost always rented out, okay? I mean, if you happen to get into a good relationship, somebody gave you a long lease, and that's wonderful. It still belongs to God because hey, sometimes that shit won't work. It won't get wet or it won't get hard. So really, why are you doing witchcraft for that when you could be doing some good shit for humanity? Fixing some things, fixing your zip code, fixing your neighborhood. I mean, if you're truly powerful, why don't you fix that? Little old me. You're using all that for little old me. Wonderful. All right, let's get on with it. It's been an hour. Okay, Scorpio, what's up, babes? What it is, what a minute do. You. Oh, you know what? I love Jeezy. Jeezy, how you doing, baby? I'm working my way up to the celebrities because I really feel like I need to be talking to them. I also need to be talking to the young Marines. I need to be talking to the young Army recruits. I need to be there so that I can bridge that humanness because they're a moment away from being total jerks and they need someone to help pull them back to the altruism, the real altruism, and not come back all red pilled out, okay? All right. So, Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Oh, I didn't say the Jeezy. All right, somebody's going to remember this because I evoked feelings at that time. I remember because I was driving. I remember I was dating my Sagittarius, my favorite Sagittarius in the whole wide world. That is the only mistake that I'd make again because it was so fucking fun. But yeah, I drove a black on black on black F-150 with monster rims. Right, I was short, I was blonde, I was platinum blonde to be exact. Once I was able to go blonde, I went all the way blonde. Right, and I would pull up to wherever those stinky funky sister was, and I would be playing Jeezy. Hypnotize, you are hypnotized. Hypnotize, you are hypnotized. Now I command you bitches to get money. Hey, now I command you bitches. Oh, it was very trancy, and it was like I had the mojo. And I mean, at the time, I didn't know exactly what it looked like from the outside looking in. I was always inside. See, when you're the person, you don't know exactly the effect you have on people because you're just living your life. So me reflecting back, yeah, it was really transient. I used to really just pull up like that, like I really did, like blonde on black on black on black. And I did it quite a few times in quite a few vehicles, but I always have my music when I pull up. Hypnotize, you are hypnotized. And I'm telling you, it's motivation music. It's like I was really, well, I'm still always big into fitness, but at that time I was younger and the biggest problem, and I did not know how sick I was making y'all. I did not know how nauseous I was making people because I was really me. And, ooh, and now I'm back. Ooh. Y'all need some Pepto Bismol. Ooh. I'm sorry. When you get to this point, you align with all the planets at any given time. So Scorpio, this us. So hermit mode right here with the Scorpio, which is a Virgo energy. We've got the 8 of Wands. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. I like this cup. It has duality. It has silver and gold. Silver and gold. Hey. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. Hallelujah. Silver and gold. Those are precious metals made by you know who, but the value is applied per person, per situation. Okay, so be mindful of what you value at this time, and be mindful there are people who are staking you out, and they are stalking you to find out what you value because they're hoping they can get in the way of it. They're hoping they can separate you from it. They're hoping that they can affect your life. And it's so wild that so many people are invested in affecting your life that they haven't paid attention to theirs or the lack thereof. Mm, mm, mm. Hard pill to swallow, right? Somebody's going to wake up years from now and they're going to realize how much time and energy they put into something that they had no business even being in. And they're going to have to live with that, and they're going to have to work from that place. But that's none of our business. Sounds personal. Anyway, the hermit. Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? The hermit. The hermit. The hermit. Don't like this book because it takes too long to find out what I'm looking for. Ooh, ooh, the hermit. Yeah. I be making up songs and stuff in the middle, in betwixt. Okay, the hermit advises you that now is a time for reflection. You must look inward for truth and wisdom, for you have all the knowledge you need inside yourself. Be calm and reflective. Do not let the outside world distract you from the messages you hold within. Introspection, solitude, enlightenment, and reflection. Like I said, some people need to learn how to be by themselves because they don't know how they relate to everyone else because they haven't even had time to be with themselves. Now that I've spent time with myself, hey, I'm very good company. How dare I waste it by being around other people that aren't like-minded? Okay, so now we've got the Eight of Wands. That is a call to quick action. All right, quick action, communication. Might need to send out some letters, some emails. Might need to check some letters, some emails. There's communications. You might need to go through some of your block lists. Do you want to keep them blocked? Do you want to delete them? Do you want to report them? Do what you got to do. But there's quick call to action. There might be some things that you need to move around. Don't think that just your spirit guides are going to do all the work. There's no prayer, no good prayer without work. So you may have to get your hands a little dirty. You might have to do some legwork. You might have to do some research, okay? You might have to go to a library, go to a courthouse, go to a post office. You may have to go to a lawyer. You may have to go to one of your old jobs. You may have to have some conversations that you may not want to have. Are you ready? Because that is the next level. Being able to confront said issues, being able to bring about closure for yourself without waiting for someone else to enact it. A lot of times people feel as though you are afraid of confrontation because you don't want to get into a shouting match. It's not that you're afraid of confrontation. It's just that you know people do create barriers on purpose, not because they plan on not understanding. It's because they don't want to ever be understood. They like the chaos. The chaos is the problem, and the problem brings them attention. If you should actually bring the solution, you'll be recognizing, giving credit for being positive and bringing an end to a situation that could have been dragged on way too long. So keep in mind, some people don't like to deal in solutions. They enjoy being the problem because the problem keeps them in the forefront. It gets them attention and it makes them feel important. Be aware of people who just love being immersed in problems because they want to be the one to not provide the answer. They just want to be the one talking about it endlessly. Okay? So be it, pay attention to the cups, the offers. Pay attention to the cups you take a sip out of, both figuratively and literally. Pay attention. Know the company that you're around. Don't be letting people open up your bottles and your things without you being there. And if you do have to leave the table, finish your stuff or throw it away. That goes for food too. Pay attention because people are really weird. Ever since y'all got on TikTok and y'all let these people, certain people come over and do their spiritual practices, you guys want to do some real irritable, petty things to people. You guys don't want to be great. You guys don't want to change. When that Haitian Revolution happened, they fought a war with their magic. You guys are trying to get over on the kindergarten teacher and the neighbor. Like, You see how much more insignificant and different that is? It's petty. It's petty. They use their power to change the government. You use that power to make a bitch want to slap you. Very, very different situation. So remember, don't use your authority or your new God-given gifts for bull crap, okay? Because what can be given can be taken away, and only God can do that, all right? If He sees you sitting there, He gave you the ability to make wine, to make elixir, to make potions, and you sitting over there just making iced tea and Kool-Aid. You're like, well, what the hell? Give me that back. I'm gonna give it to somebody who's gonna use it for greatness, not for no lame parlor tricks. So be careful of the cups. Be careful of the contracts. Be careful of the hands you shake. Be careful of the conversations you participate in. Because some of us can be booby trapped by the mouth, okay? Some of us love a bit of tea and we love adding our 2 cents in it. When you do that breath, that inhale right before you say something, think about what's about to come out of your mouth. Is it worth it? Should you say it? Is it your business? What you going to do about it? Yeah, that's how we get tricked out our spots. Be careful of the conversations you take part in and the ones you stay and listen to. Especially when some bad stuff is going down within the conversation. Did you put a stop to it? Did you tell them you didn't like it? Or you let it continue, right? Did you see a situation in where you could have intervened and made things better and you didn't? Because that makes you guilty when you don't do anything, but you are aware. Just to let you know, there are some things, some loopholes you can't really get out of because, hey, God was watching, just in case you thought no one saw. All right? So, pay attention, Scorpio. Someone's in hermit mode, reflecting this fast action about to be taken. There are cups, there are offers. Make sure you pay attention. Look in the damn cup. Be very curious. There is no dumb question if you don't know the answer, okay? All right? Be aware, Scorpio, sun, moon, rising. Take it as it resonates. Let me pull out my other book that actually lets me see the details. I think we are in Pisces. We're in Pisces, and we're about to go into Aries, which is the face, neck, and the head. I think Aries is 3 days, actually. I think Aries is 3 days in August, actually. I think it is 3rd, 4th, and the 5th. You can refer to the Farmer's Almanac. It could be 2 or 3 days, depending on. So, yeah. The Hermit is a Virgo. The 8 of Wands is... Hold up. I'm getting over there. Hold up. I'm getting over there. Is Sagittarius and Mercury. Mercury retrograde is tapering up now. I think Saturn retrograde is a lot longer. And the Ace of Cups. I don't think that's anything. I think that's just elements. That's just water. So there's a lot of feelings going around. Okay, so somebody's definitely getting a hold on their feelings. They know that their feelings can be detrimental. They know that their feelings are a liability. Somebody doesn't have the emotional strength that they need to deal with the world. They are easily egged on. They are easily triggered. They are very emotional. They lack a lot of emotional intelligence. You know, the emotion to stop, the emotion to pause, the emotion to shut up, the emotion to wait, to have patience. So, yeah, so pay attention as you proceed, especially when it comes to your emotions. How does this person make you feel? How do they make you react? What do you think? Are you caught in limerence? Are you confused? Is this person really playing with your heart, playing with your attention, playing with your mind? Okay, so this is very important for you to pay attention to. How does it make you feel? Oh, D'Angelo. How does it feel? Ooh, how does it feel? Yeah. How does it feel? Hey. How does it was a pretty steamy video, if you remember. He don't look like that no more. All right. That was petty. I don't know why I had to say that. All right. Sagittarius, Four of Cups, the Hierophant, and Death and Transformation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Four of Cups is disconnection, reflection. You're having to take a pause a little bit and start looking at the sum of things around you. And then we've got the Hierophant. Someone has to take account of their business or the business they've been involved in, institutions, the value, and how the world now sees them. Somebody's having an ego death, a death and transformation. Somebody is dying unto themselves. They're going to have to change the trajectory of their ways if they plan on going forward, because hey, the last thing you want to be doing is moving lateral for a long time. You're staying the same. You're never going up. You have hit your plateau. There's nothing new for you. So this is as good as it's going to get. For somebody, they've hit that plateau way too early. There's so much more for you to get. You have to make sure you're positioning your life to where you can optimize your level each and every time. If you put yourself in a position of stagnation, that can be very detrimental to your ego. That can actually put you in a big, long state of depression, and that can bring about some very bad dietary issues, some eating disorders. It can also bring about addictions and toxic behaviors, toxic connections, because you feel as though you've hit the glass ceiling. There's nowhere for you to go from there. So you have to be careful of shutting yourself off. You got to be careful of social suicide. Bring yourself to a position to where you can't go any further, okay? Be careful of capping yourself, okay? All right. So, someone definitely needs to rethink, realign, and redo something, okay? Death and transformation is here to give you another opportunity on this timeline, on this lifeline, to just get your things together and move to the next level. If you're not willing to do the work, be prepared to just keep going. Oh, no ascension, no hills, just going. It's like, let me appeal to you in the best way that this culture knows how to. It's like never using the muscles that builds the shelf in your ass, and being very afraid of why your butt looks like it's sliding down the back of your leg. It's because you don't do any work. You never took any uphill battles. You've never gotten on the elliptical. You've never invested in your glutes or your hamstrings. You've never taken the step up because you just like flat surfaces. You like straightaways. People go really fast on straightaways, but you really find out the driver who's able to go on different terrains, who's actually able to take a hill or two, who's actually able to turn a corner and actually do a curve and not crash out. Someone who's actually able to drift in times where extremities might be needed and able to go on back to eco-drive systems. No. Somebody has decided to take all straightaways leading very fast to no ascension, no hills, no mountains, because they didn't like chasing waterfalls. They stuck to the hills and the valleys that they're used to, and then got bored. And then when they wanted to ascend, they had no muscle. They had no map. They had no wherewithal and no knowledge on how to ascend, because straightaways was the habit. They liked the easiness of it. So, if you find yourself without a gluteal shelf, there is no onion in that funyun. It's because you haven't taken any steps up. You haven't done the hard work that it takes. You haven't done the calisthenics. You haven't done any muscle building. So, no acetol is for you. All right. All right. Yeah. Scotty, beat me up. Yeah. Yeah, so hopefully I took my time as explaining that. Sometimes taking the easy way out can be very detrimental, and it could be depressive because you haven't exercised any of your potential. You've exhausted convention. You've exhausted convenience. And conveniently, you got left in the dust. But you left yourself. Yeah, that part. Okay, so Sagittarius. Someone needs to disconnect from the business that they're in because they're going to go through a big fat ego death. Someone may have to start all the way over from scratch. Remember, shoots and ladders. Sometimes when you keep looking for the easy way and the shortcut, that is the fastest way to hit rock bottom. So, if you're not going to do the hard work, which most ladders do require you to have some type of strength to make that step up. So, if you're not going to do the hard work, you're not going to do the muscle, you're not going to do the heavy lifting, don't be surprised when you're not up. All right, Sagittarius, that was for you. Sun, moon, rising. Let's get these zodiacs. The Four of Cups is Cancer and Mercury. All right, the Hierophant is definitely Taurus, and Death is Scorpio. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. We have the 5, the 4, which is 9, plus the 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We have 22, so somebody's definitely rocked their foundation. They haven't built a very high foundation, so they're still in the starting stages, even though they've given themselves, they've dressed it up to look as though they've gotten somewhere. Somebody hasn't gotten too far. They're actually stuck in the loop. They think that their lateral movement is progression. No, you're still on the same level, looking at the same devils. And this is why this person is still seeing the same people. They're still dealing with the same friendships. They're still dealing with the same relationships. All their exes know their latest and new phone numbers, their new address. They haven't left the last loop. They've gotten comfortable with the people that they met on that loop, and they stayed there, and they're very surprised that they're still in the same circle because they haven't become the square. You still want to validate yourself. You still want to be like them. So, like them, you'll stay there. You'll stay local. You'll stay small. You'll stay stagnated because you stagnated yourself mentally by telling yourself you did not need to do any of the heavy lifting. And you're surprised that you're not all the way up. Okay? So, somebody is basically about to stop looking at everybody else when it comes to the answer for why they're nowhere. Okay? They're about to start figuring out that they are the weakest link. So maybe somebody should fire themselves. Okay? All right. Okay, so that was Sagittarius. The number was 22, which adds up to a 4, which means someone definitely needs to take a real good gander, a real good look at their foundation. Okay, come on, Capricorn. We started off in Scorpio. We're going to end off in Libra. We've got 3 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Anxiety, heartbreak, angst, something not so pleasant. Okay, we've got the 2 of Pentacles. We've got the 4 of Cups upside. No, the Page of Cups upside down, and then we've got the Devil. How embarrassing. Okay, so that's Capricorn, the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. The Devil is the 15. That is Devil energy. That's 15. That is Capricorn energy. All right, then we've got the Page of Cups. Somebody is very fixated. They are being persistent, almost annoying. And the 2 of Pentacles, somebody is definitely trying to balance out what they've got. They're trying to work with what they got. You got to do what you... Use what you got to get what you want. Oh, you better think. That was a good club. Baltimore's club music, and I think DC is go-go. Yeah. You better use what you got to get what you want. You better use what you got to get what you want. Oh, you better think. So somebody used to be in Odell's, Hammer Jacks. They used to be in all the... Somebody's... for better one of a word. Somebody's an old hoe. They used to be out here. They used to be like with the 4 horsemen and The call in clubs and all that. Somebody is the old school OG. And look, this is a Capricorn reading. I look. You never know what's gonna come out. Somebody an old school OG, because that's old club me. Somebody like to be in the street. Somebody is like a party person. Gold teeth, gold teeth, gold teeth, and metallic lipstick. Significant. Two of Pentacles. Strengthen your mind body connection and set your priorities. You need a juggler like focus to accomplish your targets. Do not commit for what you can't do. Jupiter and Capricorn, okay? Finding stability, going with the flow. So somebody been going with the flow a little bit too much. All right, all right. And they're fixated. They've been going with the flow. Now we got this Page of Cups upside down. That's where I worry, because it's the Page of Cups upside down. Well, let's see. Overcoming insecurity growing up. So somebody got addictions. They've been letting life happen, and they're very insecure about the things that has happened. They haven't worked through it, done no shadow work, had to talk with the lady on the couch or the man. They have probably been, susceptible to illicit drug use, alcoholism, maybe just addictive behaviors, maybe hypersexuality, not really taking good care of themselves. Somebody is starting to realize that they are toxic. Somebody is starting to realize that they have not been really helping themselves. Somebody has been spiraling for a very long time, and they're starting to be aware of it, that they can't really turn back the hands of time when it comes to this. This is not a good story. This is not a good time. This person does need help. They do need prayer. They need a lot. They need some professional help, support, and everything. Somebody needs to forgive themselves enough to live a little longer. Somebody needs to come out of whatever they are. Maybe they need to get into rehab. Maybe they need to just write it all out. Go to confession, something like that. They need to let it all out. Somebody needs to atone. They need someone to talk to. And they probably need to change environments. Maybe they should move from their old neighborhood. It's never easy. It's easier said than done. Maybe they don't have the support. Maybe they have burned a lot of bridges. And maybe they really got to start over. Maybe a change to a new state, something like that. Now, that would be a great resource for social workers to come up with a program to where they take people who are addicted to their environment and set up a trial error like maybe 30, 90 days to where they can actually move a person into a supervised home to see how they react to that environment for a short term, and then try to figure out something from there. I think that would be a great program, because some people, when they keep waking up in the same environment, when they keep seeing the same people, or when they keep having access to the same things, they can't help themselves. They do what's familiar. So some people will benefit from cold turkeying a lot of situations. So somebody, hear me out, somebody somewhere, please like, share, and subscribe. Get this in the algorithm, because somebody needs to hear this. Someone would benefit from cold turkeying a situation, a relationship, an environment, a home, a job, a habit. Somebody would benefit from being taken away from familiar things, because the familiar things are the person's kryptonite. It's this person's stagnation. It paralyzes this person when they're in familiar places, when they're in familiar spaces that they can control. Some people can't be in control. Some people have no control, so they do need extra support. They need supervision. Some people actually do need their hand held, because they've gone under way long ago and they weren't able to keep themselves afloat. And it takes a lot of pride and bravery to admit to yourself that you can no longer lead yourself, that you no longer have the answers. And it takes a lot of gall to go and ask somebody to lead you. It does. So, to whoever this is for, um, pride can be the death of you. Okay? This is the Capricorn reading. Pride can be the death of you. But forgiveness and surrender can bring you back to life. Okay? So I don't know if you subscribe to the Most High, Father God, love. I don't know if you're a Buddhist. I don't know if you deal with Elohim. I don't know if you deal with Yahweh. I don't know if you deal the great Savior Jesus Christo. I don't know what you subscribe to, but some things you have to surrender for life, because holding on to some things can surely bring death. Okay, so try your best to forgive yourself so that you can move forward. Okay, that is the Capricorn reading. Sun, Moon, Rising. That is Capricorn. Wow. And I could feel it, it's like it's nothing you could really dismiss. And this earth and water. Water is Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. And earth is Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And this was the Capricorn reading, okay? So somebody has to surrender. They need to surrender. Their life depends on it. They've been going with the ebb and flow so long that they don't understand that life has lifed them. It's time for them to live now. They've been on autopilot. They've just been letting things go by them. Life has been washing over them, and they're finding themselves deep in the mire. They are rolling in the deep. So come up for air. Give yourself that, okay? Come up for air, all right? Okay. Hopefully this helps, okay? My ear feels like it's got water in it. It's like swimmer's ear. I don't know if somebody's trying to pass me a message, but it being as though it's in the bad ear is probably a bad offer. Okay, so that was the Capricorn reading. Take what resonates. Sun, Moon, Rising. 2 plus 4, that's 6 plus 15. That is 21. Divine intervention. Definitely, divine intervention definitely needs to happen in that situation. Okay, let's go Aquarius. Woo! That brought me down. That was very somber. That was a very somber reading. It was very, very real. Very real. It got very real really quick, okay? All right. So the moon, 7 of Swords, the moon. 7 of Swords is a sneaky card. It's cutthroat. Somebody's stealing. Somebody's being strategic. Someone's hiding something, okay? So the 7 of Swords is Aquarius. The moon, okay? The moon is the moon. That's mother. That's matriarch. That's woman. That's family. Situations is intuition as well. Okay, then we've got the 7 of Pentacles. That's hard work and watching it grow, seeing what happens, okay? So somebody did something strategically. Looks like it's a mother figure, a matriarch, family. Oh, shucks, it was a card stuck to the bottom of it. And that's a 9 of Wands, okay? I'm going to move that, so that's 4 cards. So we got the 7 of Swords, the moon, the 9 of Wands was stuck behind. Let me look at that. The 9 of Wands was stuck behind the moon. I don't believe anything happens by coincidence right at this time. So 9 of Wands stuck behind the moon. So we got 7, 9, 7. The moon is 18. 7, 18, 9, and 7. Interesting. 7 plus 7, 14 plus 9. That is 23. 23 plus 18. 23 plus 18. 23 plus 18. That's 11. That's 41. That's 5 unexpected changes. 41. I got 41 at some point yesterday, just the same way, the exact same way. Yeah, when I added up 17 and 24, I ended up with 41. Somebody trying to communicate with me, or they just want proof that they are communicating with me. Okay, so now this is proof. Shut up. Anyway, so Seven of Swords, the Moon, Nine of Wands, Seven of Pentacles. Okay, Seven of Swords is a sneaky, strategic card. Lying, stealing, sneaking around, peeping around corners. Really creepy shit. Stalkerish. Okay, Mother, Moon, family, matriarch. That sort of way. Mother figure. Could be an aunt. Could be a cousin. Either way, it's got a wound. Whatever. All right, there we go. Then we've got the Nine of Wands, battled, wounded warrior. Something like that. Then we've got Seven of Pentacles, waiting for progress, waiting to see what happens, waiting to see what grows. Okay? So, we got someone being very sneaky. 9 times out of 10, it is a woman, a mother, somebody who has kids or a womb at least. Somebody's been through a lot of stuff a lot of times, and they're trying to see what the result is. They're trying to see the fallout. They're trying to wait for a result. They're gone too far to turn back now, so they've got to wait for results. They've got to wait for the other shoe to drop. Okay, let's get into the book and see what is going on. I said the Seven of Swords is Aquarius. I forgot what the Nine of Wands is. I think that is usually Sagittarius or Virgo. Let me look. But in the Seven of Pentacles, let me clear about all these signs. Seven of Swords is definitely Aquarius, okay? The Nine of Wands. Oh, the Seven of Swords is Aquarius and Moon. So there's a lot of moon energy. There's a lot of thieving females. There's a lot of backdoor females. Cutthroat. Don't leave your man around none of them. They gonna try him. If they think he got something that can help them, they don't care who you are. Sister, mama, friend, aunt, uncle, wife, boss. They don't care. Don't leave your man around them. They gonna try to get anything out of anybody. The pastor is susceptible to this Jezebel, okay? Nine of Wands. Damn. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. The Seven of Pentacles is Taurus energy. So far we got Aquarius, Taurus, and the Moon. Let me see what the Nine of Wands is. It's Sagittarius. We've got Taurus, Aquarius, Sagittarius. What is this Seven of Pentacles? So you would really think I got a whole daggone like novel over here going back and forth. But I don't. It's so easy to go past the thing I'm looking for. Yeah, so it's Taurus, Aquarius. What that Nine of Wands was again? I don't know. That was Sagittarius. Taurus, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. A lot of feminine energy. Don't have to be a feminine. Could be men that like have bitchy energy. They kind of weak. They don't really stand for anything. Jellyback, so they're going to come out in feminine energy. So they're stealing. They're a wounded warrior. They've been through a lot before, but they haven't really learned the lesson. They just trying to see what's going to happen. This person takes gambles. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. So they've been through it before. They just trying to see what's going to happen now. Something like that, okay? All right, so somebody's been through it before. Maybe they've already done some time. They've been to prison. They've been through lockup. Whatever's happening right now, they're waiting for the fallout. They're waiting to see if they're going to get in trouble or not. Is it going to work or not? Am I going to get something or not? So somebody's just waiting for the result, okay? Take what resonates. Sun, Moon, Rising. We got the 7 plus the 7. All of that turned into 41, which was 5. Look out, unexpected changes. Signs and synchronicities. There will be warnings. Warnings before destruction. Pay attention. It was crazy because last night I got a chance to watch this older guy. He was talking about how he went to the pool hall. He never knew how to play pool. So he went to the pool hall with his cousin. He went to 2 different pool halls. The first pool hall he scratched 3 times and got off the table, right? There was women there. And his brother was there. His cousin was there. There was women there. There was women that stayed in his sister house, never wanted them, never talked to him, never was attracted to him. However, his cousin, I think he said his brother, left with a woman at the first pool hall. He said him and his cousin was left. His cousin Alfred. Pay attention, Alfred. I know when I think of Alfred, I think of how Alfred Hitchcock and the Birds. You think of Alfred, you might think of some old drunk in your face trying to get you to go home at night, or at least trying to buy you enough drinks to get you drunk enough so that you don't realize you went home that night. Okay, so going off in the clear waters, roll your boat, but it also made me think of sitting at the dock of the bay. Anyway, so he go to the next pool hall. He remember he said he can't play pool, and he scratched 3 times at the last pool hall. So he goes to the next pool hall, and then the women is women over there. There's women over there. So he goes to the next pool hall. He say for some reason he gets to the pool hall. He is like shooting like a sharp shooter. He's really getting it in. But he say he don't really play pool. And even the people at the from behind the bar sitting at the bar came to the back to watch him play because he didn't even understand. He was calling shots and actually making them, but he don't play pool and he don't know how to, right? So he said there was a woman that came from out of the crowd, and for some reason he ended up taking her to the hotel. He said ain't no shame in this game. He wanted to take her to the hotel, right? So, mind you, while he's telling this story, this man don't have not one tooth in his daggone mouth. That's just to let you know that karma look a little different as you go about. So, here we go. So, he say he take the strange woman to the hotel after mysteriously winning that pool, a game he can't play, a game that he don't know, a game that he just previously scratched on the same night. So he actually scored with taking the woman to the hotel. He said he get the woman to the hotel, and for some reason she felt uncomfortable. Her skin never changed temperature. It stayed cool, almost lizard-like, right? But he spent the night with her either way. The first clue in that was, if you don't play pool good, and all of a sudden you start hitting like a sharpshooter, that was warning before destruction. Mm. Mm. Well, I appreciate the release. Somebody keeps trying to throw mental magic, but the thing about it is mental magic only works if the person's mental strength is stronger than the other person's mental strength. I was giving that a moment to set in. Usually to throw mental magic, you got to be stronger than your opponent. So, me being aware doesn't mean you're strong. It means I'm alert. And I know how to word it. Okay? So, you keep on doing whatever it is you're doing. You got the power to be great somewhere, but stop trying to be great to me. You don't matter. Anyway, like I said. All right, so the guy, he's telling the story, and that was the first one. And the first one was he started being good at something that he already knew he wasn't good at. So that right there should have let him know that there was something in his energy changing things. Now, sometimes, a lot of times, the devil likes ego. He likes to get you up in your pride. So at that moment, that was what was being done to him. He was being pushed into a moment of pride. He was peacocking at that moment. Because, hey, I ain't never won a game of pool in my life. Now I got people pat me on my shoulders. Now, this is where he teetered into the wrong lane. He was all right long as he was playing pool. But he started gambling. He started letting them place bets around him. Okay? All right. So you have to pay attention to Sin City when it's happening. It started getting to his ego, and then it brought him to pride. All right? The fall before the pride, right? So, him being already well versed, he wasn't able to catch that first clue. The first clue was he was doing something that he never done before very well. Then people were placing bets, basically putting money in the situation and placing on him on a pedestal he'd never been on. So it got prideful. In his high moment, he gave into lust. All right, you following me? In his high moment, he gave into lust. So from the ego being elevated to the pride being stroked, Lust came right in. You see how he was being avalanched, and he didn't even know it because his ego got tickled. So he got distracted, and then one distraction led to the next distraction, led to the action. So now he's in lust. Now he picking up strange women, and going to the hotel. Now, I can't tell the whole story the way he said it because I don't want to, plagiarize. But that night didn't go as good as he thought it did because he found out he was with a shapeshifter. Him and his brother sit up. He said him and his brother sit up in the morning and eat breakfast and talk. So he left from the hotel after being in lust. He already said he felt uncomfortable with her skin. Most people, smart spiritual people, would have got the heck up out of there at the skin, at the lust. But they didn't. He spent the night with the woman and still already noting that he already felt strange. He said he met up with his brother the next day, the brother that left with the woman at the first place at the first pool hall. Remember, the brother left with the first woman at the first pool hall. He left with another woman at the second pool hall, right? So he's sitting there with his brother. They's talking, they drinking coffee, talking. Men talk, men gossip way more than what you would ever believe. They pillow talk. They just know not to tell you what they be talking about. And sometimes they don't even know what they be talking about. They be talking in code to each other so much that they just get used to not having details. They just like to tell the tea. They tell the exciting parts and none of the important parts. Don't ask me, don't tell. I don't know. Either way, him and his brother talking, and his brother started explaining his experience. And his brother had the exact same experience. But the kooky part about it was, from what his brother explained and from what he went through, they laid with the exact same woman. Same name, same face, same body, same love making, same skin, same temperature. I told you, this man got no teeth in his mouth. Don't look like he's in the best of health, but sometimes God leave a witness to bring testimony because you would never believe it if nobody said it was true. So that was that man's testimony. And all in all, I see where lust got him up and he was in the throes with a demon. And on top of that, his brother got tricked. Now imagine if they never talked about what happened. Jealousy could have happened. Envy could have happened. Lies could have happened. Rumors could have happened. But he was able to talk with his brother and be transparent about how he felt and what went on. And for a lot of us, a lot of situations can be quelled. A lot of situations can be fixed by having the talks that you never talk, by being transparent, by actually telling the truth about some of the most embarrassing moments that probably wouldn't be that embarrassing if you actually went back and reflected on it. The fact that you lived through it and survived through it should take a lot of the sting off of it, especially since it's no longer happening. But some people get so much in their pride and they get so embarrassed from life's trials and tribulations that they hide their face and they become a hypocrite because how dare you come back and bring out my skeleton and make me see myself for the whole entirety of who I am, even though I like to pick you apart every chance I get. How dare you pull out that skeleton? How dare you tell people how I used to do this and how I do that and how I still do it? I just hope nobody sees it. A lot of us can be helped by helping ourselves out of the mental prison we have locked ourselves in by telling ourselves that no one has seen it. No one will be aware. And then you run about trying to hide the facts and the situation, trying to hide the truth amongst a bunch of lies. That is the mental prison. So somebody's found themselves quite like that. Okay? So Aquarius, what it is, boo, what it is. Okay. All right. High priestess in a reverse. So somebody's a high priestess in a reverse. They ain't so high. Temperance is here, which is 14. High priestess is 2. And then we've got the Six of Swords. So somebody is the high priestess in reverse. They are trying to save face as they try to move on to calmer waters. Somebody don't want to say, don't want to be seen. They don't want to be heard. The person who wanted to be the high priestess, who wanted to be the bee's knees, now they don't want to be seen. They want to hide. They want to cloak. They are hoping no one's looking their direction. They hope no one calls their name. They are not hope. They're hoping nobody picks up that phone. Nobody sends an email. Nobody flies a kite. They're just hoping nobody notices them at this point in time. High priestess in the reverse. What you did, chickadee? What you did? What you did? Most high priestesses like to show they honey booty parts. Why you hiding, boo? What it is? What the business is? What it do? Word on the street, you don't know how to handle his. Get your mind right. Let him talk to him. Get your mind right. Hey. All right, high priestess. Repression, mistrust, secrets, and loss. There is a high priestess that has a lot of secrets and they're feeling a bit lost. They're losing things and they don't want people to see how much. They don't want people to see how mighty the fall, how far the mighty have fallen. Okay, somebody definitely does not want to be seen as this high priestess in reverse. Hey. Dang, somebody's sending definitely some energy. They're not happy. They're definitely not happy with this message. They're not happy with the description. They're not happy with the details. They're not happy with relating to the details. This does not make them happy. All right, somebody likes to make things look pretty even when they are not. And they want to sail off to calmer waters. Okay, 14 plus 6, that is 20. That is balance. The high priestess is 2. That is 22. Someone's foundation is being rearranged. The calmer waters will be calm only because the activity and the action will no longer start to be taken. But they will have to deal with the fallout, the result, and the karma of such actions. High priestess, looks like some of your secrets are just not going to be secrets anymore. They're going to become public record, okay? All right. So, hold on tight as we take this ride, okay? Because, yeah, it was all good for everybody as long as your secrets were hidden. But now that the cat's out of the bag, somebody wants to retreat. Somebody's waving the white flag, the proverbial white flag or the literal white flag. They are giving up. They are heading for the hills. Retreat, retreat. They never wanted it to come to this, but retreat it is. Retreat it is, okay? All right, okay. Beautiful. Temperance can be beautiful, okay? Be careful of waiting too long to apply temperance. That's emotional intelligence. That's knowing how to read a room. That's being able to control yourself. That's knowing when to shut up. That's knowing when to pack up. That's knowing when to stop where you are. That is it. You've gone far as you're going to go. Okay? All right. So that was Aquarius. Take what resonates. Sun, moon, rising. Yeah. 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 That's all I can say about that one. Yeah. Pretty much. Someone's got to tuck their tail as much as they'd hate to do it. They've got to, okay? It is what it is. All right. So, Pisces. Yeah, because that was just a lot, okay? We started off in Scorpio. Pisces, okay? Yeah. The star came out, 17. The 3 of Wands. Past, present, and future. Planning, preparation, progress. Knight of Wands, having ambition. Knowing when to be gentle, knowing when to be easy. And that's something precarious. That's a balance as well. knowing when to apply, invest, knowing when to retreat, knowing when to soften the blow, even though a blow has to be delivered, okay? Knowing when to have the hard conversations and when not to use such jarring words because it already hurts. Sometimes a wound is a wound and you don't need to put salt in it because it is already painful enough, the healing and the acknowledgement of the wound. Okay, so somebody has main character energy. This is the star. It's beautiful, but she's naked. Okay, all right. This is why I got my hands in the way. My little small 17 and the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a 20, and the Knight of Wands is not a number. So we've got the star plus the Three of Wands, which is bringing balance and equality here. So right now, the star is getting a chance to plan. The star is also getting a chance to see where they came from. They're getting a chance to see where they can possibly be. And they're getting a chance to actually enjoy and recognize the present. Sometimes your nerves get so dysregulated that you never have a chance to stop and smell the roses. As you have this time, take the patience with yourself to enjoy not only just the smell of the roses, the hue of the roses. Count the thorns if you'd like. Even replant it. Invest in some bulbs. That might be an opportunity for you to learn how to care about something outside of yourself that is not human, but actually needs a bit of your science and a bit of your nourishment and your intention. Flowers usually grow great. Gardens usually grow great when good intentions and good hygiene is present within the soil. Sometimes it does matter the dirt that you do throw. Okay? All right. So that's the star, Three of Wands, Knight of Wands. Somebody has main character energy. They're also present. They're also very aware, self aware, very alert, and they have ambition and they know how to apply pressure, when to apply pressure, and when not to. If you're going to be a savior, you're going to have to know what to save with, what to use, what tools. How can you assist with the shield and the buckler? How can you represent God when you pull up? How can you do what he would do if he was you? All right, there you go. That's Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising. The star is usually represented by Aquarius. The Three of Wands is, hold up, let me get it. The Three of Wands is Aries. So you're definitely a leader. And we've got the King of Wands. The King of Wands is a element, and he is air and fire, which means he's great at communication, ambition, inspiring, and giving those good old pep speeches that get you back on track. So somebody definitely has this type of influence, okay? Aquarius, Aries, Knight of Wands, they have the elements of air and fire. They are able to self-start. They are able to ignite. They are also able to fan the flames of desire. They can put that battery in your back to make you want to get some things done, okay? So that was the Pisces reading, and that is 17 plus 3, which is 20, which is balancing the polarities, responsibilities, and taking on more. Okay, there you have it. That was the Pisces reading. Let's go over to Aries and get it done. Hello to the leaders of the new earth. Okay, hello for those who have the characteristics and the personalities and are in alignment with leading someone somewhere because you've led yourself to the next level or a couple of levels, or you've led a few people. Either way, you are seen as a leader because what you say does have some weight. What you say can be resourced. What you can say can be proven. What you say does yield results. You do deal in solutions if a problem is presented to you. This is what we need from our leaders, okay? Active representation and direction, as well as clear instruction. Okay, King of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, Queen of Cups. The King of Pentacles is in his throne. He looks great. He is in control of the money, the resources. He is in control of what the things have to do. He's able to delegate responsibilities accordingly. He knows who fits what role. He knows the strengths and the weaknesses of the people in the court, so he knows how to apply their abilities. Then we have the hangman, which is stagnation and sacrifice. Someone's about to have to let go of a Queen of Cups. They have been commandeering people's path, places, things. He's been telling people where to go, what to do, how to show up, what to say, all of this other stuff. He's probably even been paying them a bit of money to do the things because, hey, sometimes that's what the King of Pentacles has to do. He has to delegate. Sometimes he has to pay people to get things done, okay? The hangman and the sacrifice means that, yeah, he's getting caught up. He's kind of in a deadlock situation where he's going to have to sacrifice something. He may have to give up this person. He may have to give up the Queen of Cups. He may have to give up hope. He may have to pivot. He may have to pick someone else to express his unrequited love to. So someone's got to let go or give up the idea or let something go in order to get the Queen of Cups, or has to let the Queen of Cups go. You take what resonates. Sun, moon, rising, we don't know. So we've got the King of Pentacles. Let's see what the element is here. Here comes, here he comes. Air and Earth, King of Pentacles. Family is everything for you. You ensure to create a flourishing and well-lit kingdom for them, to encourage them to grow and prosper and more. Success in business, sticking to principles, avoiding materialism, being more selfless, okay? So the King of Pentacles is starting to realize that with all his responsibility and everything that he has on his plate, it's heavy. And it's causing him to lose this Queen of Pentacles. Whoever he has his eye on romantically, because he has so many responsibilities, he has too many people, too many hoes on the stroll, he has too many men calling him, he has too many people depending on him, he has too many people he has to pay, he has too many people he has to direct, he has too many people calling and interrupting, he has too many people pulling him one way or the other. He'll never be able to focus on a Queen of Cups because not only is it being done unintentionally, it's being done intentionally. Some family members, some family dynamics, they're very selfish. And even if they're not doing it intentionally, they take away from a person's life. Now, say you're a big boss, King of Pentacles, you're a male, because this can be a female as well. Say you're a big boss, Pentacles, you usually help out the family, you support, you mentor kids, you give rides, you allow people to come over, you know, sort of thing. You look out for people, right? You fix cars, you coach, you do a little bit of everything for everybody in the family. Well, if you ever get your own family, you won't be able to provide for them. You won't be able to take any of your resources and give to them. So some people, some family dynamics, some friend dynamics, they don't ever want you to get into a good relationship because they're not going to be able to call you. They're not going to be able to get anything from you because now you're in a relationship. And they're definitely probably going to start things with your significant other if they think that that person is a threat to their access to you. And that is selfish, but it happens. And the only person that can stop it is the person who's being drained dry, the person who's being pulled in different directions. A lot of people say that they want family life, they want a good spouse, they want good children, they want a good circle, but they don't have a backbone to tell people no. They don't have a backbone to put limitations and boundaries. They don't have any keys to lock out access from those people who they deem their loyalty to. Sometimes you might have a mother who don't have a man, and because she can't meet a good man or a man won't stay with her, she'll keep harping on all of the men in her family, her brothers, her cousins, her sons, her you know. So some women, they will cause distraction because they don't want you to be in a relationship that will cut them off from your resources, because 9 times out of 10 you keep them functioning. The significant others that they meet, they don't. They get drained, so they need you to help keep them full of supply so that they look like they're keeping themselves afloat, but honestly they are using what you're giving them to make themselves look whole in a situation where they're getting fragmented, Hopefully you understand. And vice versa for a woman. Some women can't get into good relationships because their baby fathers, their cousins, their aunts and their uncles can't stand to see them in a situation where it cuts off the access from them. Maybe you got a punk ass uncle who don't know how to keep their mouth shut and always spreading rumors. Well, if you get a good, strong man who's going to not let him in and not going to sit there and gossip with him, the uncle's going to say, "Oh, I don't like him," and this and that, and you're going to have to be discerning. What does this uncle do for me, and what is this uncle trying to stop for me? What does this sister do for me? I don't like that dynamic. Sometimes you'll get a sister. She'll see that you get a good man. She always gets bums. And she always see that you get a man who can actually handle his own. So she's going to start trying to hang around either to make your man cheat with her, make his eyes wander, or try to make him look bad in your eyes so that you don't have a man, so that she could say, "See, you can't keep a man." Or go around and say, "Yeah, I can steal her man." Either way, it's not a good look, because when you're Jezebel and you're stepping on somebody's toes, and then the bad part about it is this person still wants to come over and borrow your clothes, hoping that she can pick up men that you pick up, not realizing that even if she does meet the same exact man, she won't get the same exact man, because some men are different to one woman than they are to the others. So some of you guys trick yourself out of your own spot. And this is what it looks like when a person keeps trying to access your life, not just because they want to be in it, because they want to interfere, they want to meddle, and they want to keep you basically limited to the point where they always have access and nobody else can get a hold of you. And some people know that if you were ever to get in an ideal situation, you never talk to them again, you never invite them around, they're not invited to the wedding or the cookout, and that to them would be a travesty. So hold on, it's about to get a little more adultish around here. Some people are going to find themselves on the outside of your gate. They're not going to be invited to your grill. Housewarming? What? You can't even have my address. Phone number? What? You can't even get my email. Something like that. So somebody's trying to keep someone from having a good and full life and from restoring themselves, because, hey, if you should ever find yourself in a good situation, I won't be able to take from you. I won't be able to use you. I won't be able to clout chase. I won't be able to ruin your reputation to make me seem a little bit better, even though if I was a good person, I wouldn't need to ruin you, because I'd be the shit by myself without screwing out your life. But some people don't learn that lesson until they're all alone with no friends. And a lesson I did learn: if a person does not have friends, be careful. There might be a very good reason, not unless they tell you they don't want people around because they've already done that before. All right? So, this is the Aries reading. King of Pentacles, the Hangman, Queen of Cups. Take what resonates. There is no gender in tarot. Looks like somebody's a bitch who knows other bitches. Keep in mind, there's no gender in tarot, just like there's no gender in bitches. Okay? All right. So, don't be a jellyback in your life. Don't be afraid to apply those boundaries. Don't be afraid to cut off access. Don't be afraid to tell people no. Don't be afraid to tally up a person's patterns and what they've done before and say, "You know what? You ain't do it right the first time, the second time, nor the third time, and I don't got you doing right the fourth or the fifth time." No, okay? Sometimes people need to hear a hard no and a complete no, okay? Followed by actions. No. All right. So that has been for the Aries, King of Pentacles. The Hangman is a 12, which brings us to the 3, which, if God said it, it's true. No. Divine intervention. Remember, Don't give until you are emptied and drained. There are some people who will look in your face and tell you they love you, and they don't. They love access. They love what you do. They love your results. They love how you show up. They love what you attract, but they don't love you because they can't be you. All right, that was the Aries reading. Let's go on to Taurus. Hey, hey, hey. We gonna keep it a buck round here. I might tell you a bunch of jokes, but I'm surely not gonna tell you no lie. We've got the Nine of Pentacles, storing up for luxury, luxury life, getting things together, storing up your coffers, grapes in the vineyard. What age is finer than wine? Okay, she looking good. She got that Benjamin Button. Oh yeah. She got that B103. That V103. Avery Johnson. B103. I love how she dreamed big. I remember she told me we used to pretend that she was my godmother, and I don't know if this was real or not, but she said she dated Barry White. So because she dated Barry White, in her head I said Barry White had to be my godfather, because who wouldn't want to claim Barry White, okay? So Avery Johnson, B103, rest in heaven, sweet lovely lady. She is one of the people that did stoke my love for movies. She was a hidden angel. Oh my gosh, looking back, she was an angel in my life. She kept me safe for the couple of months that I was, or the year or two that I was exposed to her. She gave me a safe place to lay. She taught me about making ragamuffins, okay? Ragamuffins, like a whole meal. Satisfaction. I did it myself. I followed the instructions. She taught me how to make ragamuffins. I would go to the market and buy like all four flavors, and she would teach me how to grease the pans and do all that, and she would talk to me about things. And I remember Nelson Avenue, Avery Johnson, V103. Boy, boy, boy. I was very sad when she was ripped away from me, because she was my safe spot. Someone saw how nourishing she was and basically separated me from Avery Johnson. Shout out to her, her memory, and everything about her. She was a saving grace at a time where I really needed a break. At the time, I didn't know I was really going through it. I didn't know that I was in between a fight between my mom and dad. I didn't know my mom was really basically trying to make my father look like a negligent parent. She was trying to pin things on him that I didn't understand as a female. I know she didn't like the fact that I didn't want to live with her. I wanted to live with my dad. So she tried to make it as miserable as possible for myself and my dad at the time. I didn't know the politics, okay? I didn't know the politics. All I know was she was defeating him a lot. He would be a great, wonderful, he showed up as the Leo he was, and it was something about her that just seemed to drain him. All the things that we start paying attention to as we get old, the things that we are able to really put into words as we get old. Wow. Yes, he became an avoidant as a result of having such a situation. I mean, sure, he probably had situations prior to that. I don't think he was a perfect man, but I believe that that relationship was supposed to be a relationship that was supposed to redeem both of them. And when you meet your twin flame and one doesn't ascend, it keeps everything off balance, and it keeps the generational curse going. So I believe that's what happened. As my dad ascended, she didn't. So it became a fight for good versus evil, and I had to pick a side, angels or demons, and I inevitably picked my dad's side, which was angel. So I do forgive him for things that took place that he couldn't even explain or understand, because he was being pummeled in every direction. So yeah, I get it. I get it. There are some dads that can resonate with that, but there are also some dads who would love to use that as an excuse, but they didn't show up like Charlie did. I can tell they didn't show up like Charlie did because that's why my siblings are so jealous. They didn't have anything close to the dad that I had. Oh, you see me struggling right now because I'm short and I'm trying to get something that I made a mistake and push to the back of the cabinet. But solution, I use this as my arm. She wants a oatmeal cream pie. This is his morning opener. Take your cranberries and your pie. What else can I help you with, Sarah? Get a water out of the fridge. Okay. Boom. So we're going to get started. And I did not make coffee today, so that's why you don't hear that tingling. Okay. So, boom. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Let's get us done. Or was that? Did we just do Taurus? Because I just got thrown off just now with Alex that thing. Hey, you come straight down here and do all of that? Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay? Don't do that. Turn it down. Turn it down. Some things are not necessary. That's another thing. You got to start early with your children. If you don't give them anything, if you put them above reproach too early, they will start feeling entitled to those freedoms that they need to work toward, okay? You have to have them earning things. So when you make them feel as though they can't be punished, they can't be chastised way too early, you're gearing up for disaster, okay? So do the tough stuff soon and early. Do it quick, do it fast, make them aware of it, okay? Doesn't matter if you give them hugs and kisses later. Do the tough stuff when it needs to happen at that moment. Don't wait. Don't prolong it, okay? All right. So, Taurus, King of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Star. Okay, Taurus. So, as you become the King of Pentacles and you start learning how to manage your own pride, your own land, your own things, you're going to need to take leaps of faith. We don't know where those leaps of faith will take you, but if you never take them, you'll have traveled nowhere, okay? So, remember to have faith and bet on yourself as you go forward because you are the star, the main character of your life. Oh, the stalker is back. Well, you can say they're consistent, repetitive, mental, but they're back. Anyway, King of Pentacles, right, the star. So remember, as you go forward, King of Pentacles, you are earth, you are air. You are air, you are earth. So you definitely have good communication. You are grounded. You know how to be stable or show a stable life. Be sure to take chances involving you. Take chances, take bets on yourself, not just on anyone, not on anyone's advice. Don't go on anyone's whim. Take bets on yourself. What can I help you with? You don't need no more snacks. You have cranberries, you have things. You have a tendency to do that. Okay, so we have the Fool. What is the number of the Fool? As a matter of fact, because you're going to make me take things back from you. Because you're coming down here making yourself needy. That is a distraction. That means that something is interfering in your energy. That makes you want to interfere with me. You have everything that you need. Calm yourself. And that's how you do it. I noticed that. I do notice that. It's irresponsible, it's not needed, it's unwarranted, it's creepy. And if you deem yourself an adult, I hope you don't get credit for it. Anyway, like I said, King of Pentacles, air and earth, success in business, sticking to principles. Okay, then the Fool. That Zero, which is Uranus, finding adventure, being spontaneous, being more rational, and being less serious. Sometimes you have to pull the stick out of your butt and get some things done. It's okay to smile, okay? Smiling doesn't make you weak. It's your actions and your response, okay? All right. So the Star. So King of Pentacles and the Star, that's 17. So the only thing that's out here is 17. So you be careful of the star that you're picking. Some people are stars and celebrities and they are in the limelight for all the wrong reasons. What is going to be your reason? What will you do when you take center stage and the light finally shines on you? What will you be showing? What will you be modeling? Okay? So be mindful of who you are and what you're giving. Okay? No, and be okay with what you got, okay? Be okay with it and don't settle for less. And that has been the Taurus reading. We've got the King of Pentacles. Be sure, know how to delegate. Manage your resources responsibly. Don't be too uptight. Take chances. Bet on yourself. But weigh the pros and the cons. And remember, you are the star. They're there to see you. What are you showing? There you go. And that was for Taurus. That was 17. That turns into an 8. Be on the right side of karma. It's either it's karma or it's dharma. There's no in between. All right, there you go. Let's go, Gemini. Then we're gonna end off in Libra because we started off in Scorpio. Gemini, what's up? The Hierophant, Death, the Hierophant, and the Tower. Ooh. Gemini, it's either you or it's somebody in your energy. This is something else. I told you I had a rebirth, so I died a little last night, okay? I had a rebirth, right? So death and transformation, it's not always bad. Hey, pay attention. It's not always bad, okay? To a death and a transformation, sometimes you have to die to your old self, your old body, your old mind, your own scale of thinking in order to move forward in this life, or in this thing we call life, okay? So, somebody is definitely off with their heads. Off with their heads. You have now taken a big old giant step. You are now in the open. Take your Piscean energy in, wade through. It's time for you to swim. Now you're in unfamiliar waters and it's big. It's a big deep. Rolling in the deep. All right, you asked for it, so let's get into it, all right? Okay, now, there's a tower moment. There's a tower in the moment. There's a tower in the moment. Your death and transformation into the businesses, into the value, you are priceless. You are going up. You are now an institution of your own. You are now the bee's knees. You are the spiritualist. You are spiritual. Whether you're doing something online, you're an entrepreneur, you have a store, you are going to work and you just have that leadership skill. You are the one that comes in and you make everybody have a great day. You bring up productivity. You understand the value that you bring in the room, and you also understand when you leave the room, so does the value. Now, this is causing a tower not only for you, because some towers are good. This is also causing a tower for somebody else. Somebody never wanted to see you take your throne. Nobody ever wanted to see you crowned. Nobody ever wanted to see you do the things that you do because they told themselves that they could keep you a secret and whisper to you and listen back and nobody should know. Yeah, they said this. They said they said that. Somebody wanted to be so underhanded. Somebody wanted to keep everything under wraps. They never wanted anybody to know that you. They never wanted anybody to know that you were this person. Nobody wanted you to grow. Nobody wanted to see you be in a position to where you were the premium pick. Nobody wanted to ever see you become the creme de la creme. Nobody ever wanted you to even notice yourself as even important. They wanted to come in, see all of what you got, and say, oh, well, I did that. I'm the reason. I gave that to them. That was my idea. They never thought in the wildest dreams that you would be responsible for everything and that they were riding on your coattails. They got so good at cruising off of your speed that they didn't even realize that that was your ride until you kicked them out. Do you understand how comfortable people got? Riding on your wheels, riding your wave. They were surfing. They thought it was their energy that was making the waves come. No, they didn't even know it was your motion. They didn't even know it was your drop. It was your drop in the bucket that made the waves reverberate, and then they build up momentum. You let the beat build, and then next thing you know, you was two chains. Somebody didn't know that the other shoe was going to drop on them. And it brought about a tower moment because how dare you? I told everybody you were quiet. I told everybody you were weak. I told everybody that you weren't bright. I told everybody that you were scared of your own shadow. I told everybody you had stage fright. I told everybody that you could be controlled. I told everybody that you were scared of your own shadow. How dare you prove me wrong and make me look like an idiot in front of my own darn mirrors? How dare you? What? You don't need anything. What you keep coming over here asking me for stuff for? You know who does that? I know. Somebody who look like you, who's real big, who does that. They always want to be in the way, calling for attention that they didn't earn, wanting things that they don't need. All because they can't go find something to do with themselves. They got to be in the way. I think you is related to somebody like that. Might be that person throwing that type of energy over there. Is there a deadbeat that paid $3.86 the last time they decided that they wanted to pay child support? Is that who's there? Yeah. So somebody is having a big old tower moment as they see you completely unbothered, washed, and cleared in the lake of Minnetonka. Yes, I do think one of my spirit guides is the artist formerly known as Prince. He's very biting. I'll just let you know. If you think I'm ratchet out the mouth, you've got to hear how Prince does. There are some celebrities that will confess to this fact. Prince is a perfectionist, and he has a way of slapping you with words. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so somebody's going through a tower moment as you go through your death and transformation, and maybe they're going through a little death, a little petite mort, because how dare you? Their soul has been snatched to really realize that all of what they said, all of what they thought, all of what they projected, all of what they had rumored out, all the tricks and the smokes and mirrors didn't keep you down, and here you are. The rolls growing out of the concrete, they tried to keep you down. They tried to block you. They tried to damage you. They put weed killer on you. They did everything. They sent in the mowers, the weed choppers, the weed eaters. They pissed on the curb. They did all sorts of things. Brought the dogs, and they didn't pick up the poop. They did a lot, okay? And you still came out shining and vibrant in the best hue ever and smelling great. And they're trying to figure out how you did it. You snatched their soul. Yes, you did. When you proved everybody wrong. When you proved that you could make it without them. Not only could you make it without them, you could break barriers. You could break records. You could make legends without them. It was only them that was keeping you down. And someone's going to have to deal with that fact. That is a very hard pill to swallow. Who put themselves above you, who put themselves on a pedestal, who told themselves that they were more valuable than you while constantly stealing all of your breadcrumbs, all of your details, all of your bricks you were using to build your things. Somebody thought that they pulled the greatest trick ever. They were the best magician. They thought that they cloaked you enough to where everybody would see them as a master ventriloquist, and then you got them out of your ass, and you're fully functioning. You've got autonomy, and you're nowhere near Geppetto. You're nowhere near Pinocchio as close as you are to being Geppetto or Jiminy Cricket. You're much more in line with that than you are with Pinocchio and his line self. Even though eventually, at some point, he becomes a real boy. Look at the lessons. Look at all the lessons he had to go through. Look at how he was able to be led astray. Look at how he was led into the belly of a beast. You understand? By thieves and scams and frauds. It was a couple. It was a couple. Sometimes there are couples. Sometimes you thinking that person, that man and that woman that's been married for years, no, they've been married by fears. They've trauma bonded, and they've got a certain special secret sauce that they've mixed up, that they pour in everybody's eyes when they come into contact with them, and they make their things seem good, and they make people covet what they got going on, not knowing that what they've got going on is complete corruption. And they allow people to sign up, and they sign more and more people up, and it becomes a Ponzi scheme. They're selling a dream that is nothing but a dream, because if you should ever wake up, you'll realize that there is nothing in your cup. They just keep giving you cups to make it seem as though you will get a portion, and they're pouring complete and utter bullshit. Okay, in my ear, my left ear, somebody's still throwing it, and I'm not catching it. All right, so somebody's going through this tower. They're dying into themselves. Their whole idea, everything that they thought is now cast aside. Everything that they thought has now come down. It is now crumbled, and they are going through the biggest tower of their life. If you are younger, use this as a stepping stool and a teaching tool, a lesson and a testimony. If you are older, take the lesson and the blessing. If you are too far gone, there's not much I can say for you. All right, so that was the Taurus reading. Sun, Moon, Rising. We've got the Tower, which is 16, and Hierophant, which is 5, Death and Transformation, which is 13. 13 plus 16, that's 29. 29 plus 5, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34. That is a 7, which is a complete cycle. Somebody has completely fallen apart. They are falling to pieces. Falling to pieces. I'm falling to pieces. All right, so somebody is definitely all broken up. All right, they're like the gingerbread man who went to visit Drury Lane. He went to go and see the Muffin Man on Drury Lane, and you took apart the gumdrop buttons. And now you're not the king of nothing. Damn it. All right. Shrek might be important. Rumpelstiltskin, somebody knows your real name. All right. Definitely. Rumpelstiltskin. Somebody is afraid to be found out. Is there a bum named Douglas over here that keeps making false god darn accounts because he wants to watch the woman and not the damn kid he responsible for? Or is it his stupid baby mother who's a mental case that circled and wore off a little bit? Where are the twins? Are they still the adults in the house? Because we know the mom and dad are not the ones. Shout out to K and P. You guys have had it rough from the beginning. With those parents, you do not need enemies. Jesus Christ. All right, so we've got the Emperor out here in Cancer. We've got the Eight of Cups, and then we've got the Lovers. Okay. All right. The Emperor is 4. We've got the Eight of Cups, which brings us to 12. Then the Lovers is 6, which brings us to 18, which is 9. Divine, you better pray. Something's happening in September. Somebody is a September Libra, Virgo, Libra, something like that. You okay? I swear that kid knows how to get my goats, okay? And I really feel like because I talk this trash to his dad, he just transfers and projects his feelings onto the child because he's a sick bastard and he did some weird shit with my kid's hair when his old weird ass mama decided to cut my kid's hair without my permission. Yep, because you suck at a lot of things in life, we knew you would join some kind of weird occult and try to blame stuff on me because you know that you're dabbling in dark practices because you just aren't, you're a fuck up. And that's just what it is. And it's unnatural for you to be so attached to a woman that's a bum that happens to be your mother. You guys are forever struggling because you guys try to take advantage of people. That's a lot for you to be managing coming from Westminster, okay? I looked in the front of my Bible the other day and I realized that that Bible was given to my dad by somebody named Pamela Cook. We can't be this damn close. I don't like you that much. Anyway, yeah, so, Cancer. All right, so we've got the 4, the 8, and the Lovers, which brought us to 18, which brought us to 9, which is divine. Hope you're praying, but it's something about September. Gone to November, but you left in September. Damn, that was the last time Alex did see his dad. Stay gone. You don't get to pick and choose when you're coming and going. I wish you just would have left. All right, so now that we're here, what are you going to do? Cancer, the Emperor, be a leader, 8 of Cups, all right? That is escapism. Somebody is a leader. They teach avoidance. They're not a great teacher at all, but they think that they're a lover boy or a lover girl, whoever this is. Sun, Moon, Rising, take what resonates. There is no gender in tarot. There is somebody that leads people astray. They probably try to make people open their nose. They're a big love bomber. They lead with love. Even though they don't know what love is, they like to play with the idea. This is how they get into access to people. They're in love with everybody and in love with no one. They do the same thing with everybody. If this one gets flowers, everybody gets flowers. If this one gets this, everybody gets this, because they know how to look, they know how to act, but they don't know love. Somebody uses love as a cloak, and this is how they've entered into many bedrooms, many contracts, many homes, many houses, many kids. Stop allowing people to meet your kids right the fuck away. Stop allowing people to invest in your kids, because guess what? If you break up with them, now your kids have to break up with them. Let that be a lesson to you. Stop putting your kids in every relationship that you get. Your kids don't deserve it. Neither do you. But somebody leads in an escapism. This is how they escape. Their escapism is your honeymoon period, is their escape. That's their vacation. And eventually, they're going to go bon voyage. They're going to jump ship, because this is what they do. They're a habitual line stepper. They're in love with everybody and nobody at the same time. A friend to all is a friend to none. And this is how this person does. This is a Cancer. This person loves to put people in the rapture. They like to do the hot and cold. Now you got it, now you don't. Now you got it, now you don't. And what they do is they build up a longing. They build up a toxic breadcrumbing. They want you to long for the highs, and they want you to be very alone for the lows. And that way they form an addiction in you. It's like a crackhead trying to cloak themselves as crack in your life. It's like, well, I know how that shit works on me, so maybe if I can make myself into a form of it, I can be like this to people. So somebody's trying to make themselves a drug to other people when really, honestly, they're overdosing on themselves. Some people have a self-inflated value, and your acceptance of it and your enabling of it makes it even worse. We've created a monster. The world has created a monster. So be sure that you're not enabling someone to come in and out of your life, in and out of your foundation. Somebody to just come in, take what they can benefit from, and then leave when it's not, okay? That looks like somebody that loves it when your lights is on, but when your lights is off, they've got to go on to the next house, okay? Be aware of foster relationships. Some men and women move in with every partner they have because they're on the run. They're on the hideout. They can't put their name on anything. They can't afford to stay anywhere too long because if a person really finds out exactly who they are, they're going to not like them. So they don't overstay their welcome. They breadcrumb people. Oh, they can tolerate me for 24 hours. Oh, they can tolerate me for 48. Oh, they can tolerate me for a whole week. And this is how some people really live their lives. Papa was a Rolling Stone, should have been Mama too, okay? So be aware of the Rolling Stones and the foster parents, that the foster people that you would get. Some people really do move in with everybody, and nobody gets to move in with them because they aren't able to provide that. They can only come and use people for that. They can never provide that, at least not consistently. And even if they do put up a good show, stop it. Even if they do put up a good show, sometimes it's just that, a good show. I remember I met a person and they were telling me that they were only able to sustain themselves for like maybe a year living by themselves as an adult. And they were actually really okay with just moving in with everybody that they end up in a relationship with. But the thing about it is, it says that a person isn't responsible. And it says that a person isn't willing to do the work themselves to maintain themselves. And for the person who thinks that they're getting a prize when they take a person and say, "Oh, well, you can live with me, so you're not doing anything but hurting yourself." Because if you can get a person who can consistently take care of themselves, they will come and they will add more. They won't want to move into your home. They will want to move into something bigger that you both can sustain. And for the smart person, never move into something that you can't eventually sustain by yourself, even with a partner, because tragedies and emergencies do happen. So, like I said, be aware of love bombing, be aware of future faking, be aware of people who like to escape. They like the honeymoon period, but they don't like to go through the trials and the tribulations. They're running their track star. They gonna run away when it get hard. You not understand that? So be aware of foster partners. They like to get adopted into every family because their family is trying to find a soft spot for them to land that's not there with them. Okay, there you have it. There was the Cancer reading. There's Aries. The Eight of Cups is Virgo, and the Lovers is Gemini. Aries, Virgo, Gemini, and this Taurus reading. All right, there you go. Oh, he finally went outside. He has been watching the same exact part. He keeps playing it over and over again. Somebody's on a loop. Somebody's on a Groundhog Day loop. Because when he does that, that means somebody is being very, 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 very repetitive. Somebody just keeps trying to do the same thing over and over again in different ways, but it's still the same. It's still giving the same result. Justice, that's Libra energy. Justice, cause and effect. Somebody doesn't like it, but this is Saturn retrograde, and that is Murphy's laws. What can happen will happen, and what goes up must come down. And yes, there is cause and effect. If you caused it, it will affect you. Okay, the world, completion, justice. Damn, I just shuffled. Seven of Wands. Okay, Leo, what's up? What's up, Leo? What's up, Leo? The world is here. The world is here. The world is here. equality, balance, decisions, fairness. I figured I'd do that since I came across justice fast. Okay. Just us or just is? Whoop, whoop. Do the shuffle. Whoop, whoop. Somebody's trying to recycle some real old player moves. Mm. So old I can almost picture them with a fishbowl in the heel. Somebody's really trying to recycle some old player moves. But sir, were you even born back then, or are you just borrowing old cryptic notes from old people who haven't survived? Somebody's taking moves out of a playbook that shouldn't even have been published. It's the wrong playbook. You ain't even believe in Jesus. Why you got a Jesus piece? Somebody's the biggest hypocrite. They know all the things to say. They know all the things to wear. They know how to wear a suit and tie. They know how to put on a cross. They know how to make it look good. But that is the devil in disguise. Somebody is a wolf in sheep's clothing. The world. Astrological correlation with Saturn. We are in Saturn retrograde. Look at how she looks. While Saturn sounds safe, Saturn can be very volatile. There are a lot of gases when it comes to the rings. I don't know if anyone's really good into science and research, but there are a lot of gases and toxins and things that make up the rings of Saturn, okay? Saturn is a planet. Saturn is a planet that has rings around it, okay? You get the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and then you get the supper ring. Okay. Completion. All right. Completion, fulfillment, expansion, collective, travel. Leo. Someone's traveling, whether it be physically or mentally or financially. Someone is probably going to enter into another tax bracket. Somebody is probably going to enter into a new phase of life. They're going to enter into a new environment. They are going to be entering into another level. That does not mean that you lose discernment. That means your discernment needs to be greater because things are going to look the same. The same way sugar looks like salt and salt looks like sugar. The same way salt and sugar can look like MSG. You're going to have to be very, very careful as you elevate. A lot of the same people who you used to be able to tell apart are now going to be dressed in the same garments, have the same jewels, have access to the same buildings. Either way, you're going to have to discern whether they're good or not for your forward movement. That is in business, you're going to have to know who to supply from, who to re-up from, who to support, what they do in the interim, whose kids are you sending to college. You're going to have to be aware of all these things as you approach your new world. A whole new world, a brand new place I never knew. And when you way up here, it disappears. Then now I'm in a whole new world with you. All right, so justice is here, which is Libra. Okay, and that is law, that's justice, that's balancing out the scales. And then we've got the Seven of Wands, which means that you have boundaries, you have great boundaries, and you're going to keep them up because boundaries are attractive. If everybody sees that you're going to let everybody in, it's a free-for-all. It's very unattractive. It is a turnoff to know that everybody has access to you. So keep up your coffers and keep up your value by making yourself exclusive, by making yourself a members only type of situation. Choosy lover, hey, I'm so dang proud of ya. I'm so glad you chose me, baby, baby. Hey, that's the Isley Brothers. If you know, you know. All right, so somebody has to be very choosy going forward. The first offer is usually not the offer you need to take. Be aware that you better shop around. My mama told me you better shop around. Don't take every offer offered to you because you do not know what could be in the cup. Do your research, use discernment, ask questions, do background checks. Look around, socialize, social engineer yourself. There are two ways to do it. You can do it for the bad, you can do it for the good. Make sure you know which side you're doing it on. Just know that you're going to have to balance things going forward. Sometimes you're going to be asked to step into the dark in order to expose the light. And sometimes you're going to be told to dim your light a little bit just so you can see who wants to outshine you. And that's going to be a strategic move that's going to save your life thousands of times. Okay? All right. So, going forward, remember this is completion. You are complete. You are a whole person. So, don't let nobody step up and fragment you. Remember, your rings, the rings around you, your rings of Saturn are your protections to your solar plexus and your chakra roots. Don't be letting everybody bump with them hips. You don't want to bump hips with everybody. Everybody should know the way you gyrate your moves should be exclusive to you. Okay? So, be aware, and sometimes you know that those toxic gases do protect you. The same way a scorpion has some venom, the same way some fish, if they bite you, they're going to give you toxins. That is their defense mechanism. Some things look so cute and so harmless until you go over there bothering them. Remember, Mama Saturn, shake them rings, all right? All right, there you go. And that was the Leo reading, the world, justice, Libra energy, and the Seven of Wands, which is boundaries. Let me make sure I know what the Seven of Wands is before I dismiss you. And that is Leo again. Very fiery. Don't forget, keep the distance. Some fighting strategies require you to let the enemy get close to you so that you are able to reach and react. Some strategies require for you to keep the enemy at a distance so that you can see and watch what's going to happen before they get there. I remember there is something in the wars. You wait till you see the whites of their eyes, something like that. It's all in your timing. You'll know when to strike, okay? Be aware. All right? So, Leo, and Libra and Leo. There we have it. And that was the Leo reading. Let's go. We got Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio will be our last. We're down to the last three. Seems like it took us forever. It did. But there was some good material, some good tea, some great banter. We had our moments, all right? We had our moments. All right, Virgo, let's step up and get on. Eight of Wands. So Virgo is out here. Four of Wands. And then the Page of Wands, we've got 12, which is 3, which is divine intervention. So, Virgo, what's going on with this Eight of Wands, Four of Wands? Eight of Wands is spurring into quick actions, communications, movement, something like that, traveling, a lot of action being taken. That's the Eight of Wands. Let's see, the Eight of Wands is Sagittarius and Mercury, making quick decisions, spur to action, dealing with frustration, developing patience. So somebody's learning, they're recalibrating themselves, okay? But they also know that they have to shit or get off the pot. So somebody knows that there has to be some type of movement very soon, okay? They have to get some things going. Excuse me, the Four of Wands. Lots of wands, only wands. Okay, your joy lies in celebrating and sharing the fruits and success with your loved ones. The best way to find peace is to uplift the spirit of people around you. Venus and Aries, time to celebrate finding happiness. So it's time to reinforce your foundation. If you've been careless, if you've been inconsiderate, if you've been a bit cold, if you've been a bit distant, it's time to reconnect with the people in your household, your clan, your crew. It's time to reinforce some relationships. Some people feel like you don't love them anymore. They feel like you don't care for them. You don't, and if you don't, then be transparent about it and let them know, hey, this is it. It's over between us. It's over, Hey, sunshine, I ain't never coming home. Not once again, okay? All right. Hey, is your mother? Put her on the phone. Oh, gosh. That part in Harlem Nights was very, very funny. Sunshine. People know. If you know, you know. And then we've got the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is saying she was free in her wildness. She was a wanderess, a drop of free water. She belonged to no man and to no city. Be careful with boxing yourself in. We do understand that you do have to take action toward remembering and reinforcing your foundation. Sometimes reinforcing your foundation is remembering your oneness, remembering your wildness, remembering your spontaneity. Sometimes you have to remember that everything doesn't have to be planned. You just have to go in and take action. Sometimes recapturing your life is not always letting people know, 20 people know where you're going. Sometimes you could be so responsible that you irresponsibly abandon yourself for the sake of making sure everybody's okay with where you're going. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you need to really realize you don't need anybody's permission, especially if you are the adult that you say you are. You don't need people's permission to be free. You don't need people permission to be stable. You don't need permission to bet on yourself or take a chance. It's you. For God's sakes, it's you. It's your foundation. Do what you want with it. Just be aware and be okay with the consequences and the fallout. It's your life. Live it. But take in consideration the pros and the cons. All right? Page Wands, Eight of Wands, Four of Wands, Page of Wands. That's 12. That's 3. Divine intervention. Go with God because you can't really trust man now, can you? All right? There we have it. And that was the Virgo reading. Oh, did I tell you what the Eight of Wands was? The Eight of Wands is Sagittarius. The Four of Wands is Aries. Sagittarius and Aries. We are going into Aries for the next couple of days. That is the head, the face, and the neck. Be careful of the way you sleep. Pay attention to the water intake, your salt intake, your sugar intake. It could give you acne. It could give you craters in your face. Too much salt can make you swell up. Your neck, thyroid situations like that. Definitely pay attention to your salt and your sugar intake when it comes to thyroid inaction and action and overreaction. Look up the thyroid and pay attention. And next time you go to the doctors, ask for that test in that panel. Be aware of your cortisol level because that can control your stress. There is good stress and there is bad stress, and you'll only know by the way you look at your body, the way you digest, and your cortisol levels. And one clue about cortisol levels is unwanted fat deposits on your body. If you have parts of your body that you're not quite happy with and you notice that there is quite a lot of storage happening in that body, that is where your stress is going. That might be something that you need to pay attention to. And sometimes it's not just about exercise. It's about how you think about it. It's about how you feed it. It's about how you treat it. It's about how you relax it. It's about how you moisturize and take care of your insides as well as your outsides. So be mindful of the science, the everlasting science project that is you and your body, okay? It has a lot to do with your emotions as well. One good happy boost that you can do that unknowingly does change your mood, get yourself a small cup, like a little small cup, and keep walnuts, walnuts, cranberries, sunflower seeds, and blueberries. It's a quick mood filler, right? Because it has magnesium, it has iron, it has antioxidants, and it has a few other things. But those things, if you put them together and you take a little small shot of it, like a little small glass of legumes and berries, nuts and berries, that is a quick mood booster. I don't know. That's a cheat sheet. That's a mood booster. This is why when you go into the 7-Elevens, they have those little protein packs and those little things that say male health or women's health. Like, it's something to that. And they're selling you it for like $3 and $4 for a little small shot. I'm telling you, if you keep these things in stock, you can boost your mood whenever you want to and in a healthy, natural way. Side note, if you have diverticulitis, see a dietitian, see your doctor, because I don't know how you break up legumes or anything, because people that have limitations as far as breaking down raw foods and nuts in their system, especially if you eat corn and it always comes out the same way that it went in. You might have a situation in your stomach to where you're not breaking down raw foods like you should, okay? And by the way, corn is for livestock, so don't be too pressed if your corn is still coming out the same way it went in. We're really not supposed to eat it. It just tastes good. I digress. My ear, somebody doesn't like when I give all this information out. They want to be the ones. Well, go do it and leave me alone. Anyway, yeah, like that part. Okay, so that was the Virgo reading. And now we're going into Libra, okay? All right. Told you, divine intervention. Yeah, that part. Come on, Libra, because we got Scorpio, and that is our last and never our least. No, it's actually the last one is Libra. Damn, that went faster. All right, Libra. It is what it is. What it is. We started off in Scorpio, and now we're here. That was the Virgo reading. We've got Two of Swords. We've got blind faith, deadlocked on decisions. Someone is deadlocked. They don't know where to go from here. So sometimes when you're deadlocked, the best action is no action until you have a plan. I don't know who needs to hear this, but the safest plan of action sometimes is no action until you actually have a plan. Don't go moving just because somebody pushed on you or bullied you or told you to. Some people are really saboteurs. They come into your life to see you do nothing but fail and humiliate you, because how dare you outshine them? How dare you get help, support, anything that they can't get to? Some people, so you be sure, if you're not ready to move, don't move. Be safe. There's safety in that. Okay, so Libra, let's wrap this up, okay? Knight of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, and we have Seven of Cups. Okay, this is a bit spooky. This is a bit weird, okay? Look. Mask off. Mask on. You see that? Am I reading you for filth or what? All right. Two of Swords, deadlock decisions, that sort of thing. It is what it is. It's not going to change. The King of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck, we've got Judgment, which is Libran energy. The Two of Swords is here to tell us what right now? Because my bad ear has been going on and off. So that means somebody is running their mouth. They're popping their shit. They don't got a lot of nice things to say. They say if you don't got nice things to say, you shouldn't say nothing at all. But somebody likes to hear the filth that comes out of their mouth. I'm sure, hope whoever's in that room with you cleans their ears on the regular. Somebody needs to see an ear, nose, and throat person. Halitosis. Okay, so now we've got the Two of Swords. Keep your personal and professional relationship balanced to avoid a drama-free life. Moon in Libra, that is the Two of Swords. We're in Libra. This is a Libra card, okay? Somebody is deadlocked. They don't make decisions. This is what I always say about Libras. A lot of Libras, they are very hard pent against making decisions because they hate to be the bad guy. They need to be everybody's friend in case they need to burn a bridge that you've tried to burn, okay? In case they need to cross a bridge that you've tried to burn. So they try to keep all options open. They hate to make a decision. The only way to make a Libra make a decision is for you to make it for them yourself, okay? Right, that part. So now we've got the King of Pentacles, okay? So be careful if you have a Libra energy in you. A lot of times they don't like to be the bad guy. They would rather save face and teeter on the fence until you make a decision, and then they're like, oh yeah, well, I'm with you, until the other side wins, and then they're like, you know what, I should have went with them. Like, they're very hard to make a decision because their loyalty is very fickle. It's very, very flimsy. Loyalty for them it goes by the wind. Their feelings change like phases of the moon. You know, the moon changes about 28 times, all right? Okay, so now we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Working hard and being practically committed. Okay. So somebody is very, very hard spent. They don't know what they're going to do. Someone wants them to work hard. Someone wants them to stay committed. Someone doesn't want them to take action at all. Someone has a control issue. And that's very hard. If you have a Libra spouse and they have someone in their life that they aren't strong enough to put out of their life, that could cause a lot of rift in your life because they will allow that person to control your situation because they don't want to be the bad guy. They hate telling a person no. They hate being the person to put the nail in the coffin. So they'll try to skate by in Switzerland for as long as they can until they find themselves put out, exiled, and exhausted. And then all of a sudden they'll try to make a decision, but that's going into default. So be aware of those teetering, tottering Libras making no decisions at all while making you make all of them. It gets a bit exhausting. So if you are with a Libra, you may or may not need to look up a 1-800 number for compensation for mental distress. Okay? All right. So now we've got this 7 of Cups with this mask on, mask off, with this Komodo dragon weaving itself through these cups. Doesn't look very safe to me, okay? You've got a huge Komodo dragon weaving itself through cups, and I'm supposed to be or not to be? That is the question. Very Libran to me. So, the 7 of Cups, the King of Pentacles is earth and air, which is Libra, and that is communication, grounded communication. So somebody doesn't seem too grounded if they haven't boiled down to one decision yet. So now we've got the 7 of Cups. I remember where the cups was in the back. Allow yourself to dream. Dream open new channels of creative ideas. Produce magnificent results. Venus and Scorpio. Wishful thinking, making choices. Dealing with restriction, avoiding distraction. So somebody has champagne dreams and Kool-Aid pockets, and they're easily distracted, which means that all they do is dream. Dream. Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my eyes when I want you. All I have to do is dream. Somebody need to wake the hell up. Okay? This ain't no goddamn look. This ain't no lullaby. This ain't no dang dream. You need to wake up to reality and the fact that your indecision, your delusion is undoubtedly wearing your life out. You keep wanting to go and have these honeymoon phases. You keep wanting to start these new starts. You're only as good as the new start because once you get involved, you're not there for the duration. So you are, in fact, tearing up homes, lives, and livelihoods by you just being delusional. You are not doing things based in reality. You're doing things based on potential, based on what that person's seen, based on that person's result, based on that person's life. None of it is based on any of the facts of the things that are happening in your life. Somebody ain't living in reality and they are dragging other people, unfortunately, that are trying to support them, that are trying to have their back, that are trying to hear them out. They don't understand that they are the reason why their life is in a pit because they are delusional and they're living their life off of a chance, off of a probability. They are not giving no absolutes. Good God, Libra, exhausting. So someone's very indecisive. They want to come off as this shield and buckler. They want to come off as a protector, a lover. They want to come off as all these lovely things, a unicorn, a griffin. They want to come off as a kaleidoscope. They want to come off as everything they've ever dreamed of. They want to come off as Pegasus. They want to be the knight in shining armor. They want to be all these things, but they don't identify or align with anything. So at the end of the day, it's only a hope and a dream. This person is not based in reality. This is very dangerous. When adults play pretend too long, it is very, very dangerous. This has been your Libra reading. I have no idea where you're going to go from there. But we have Libra, the Libra. We have Earth, Air. Somebody is definitely not grounded. They're going by whims, romantic, whimsical whims. Nothing's based in reality, and that can't be safe, especially if this person is a parental figure. The children will always pick the fun parent, not knowing that the fun parent is the most irresponsible piece of doo-doo on the earth. And that person will be the hero until the child realizes that they can't do anything with that fake cape, that you can't really fly, that you really can't pull a rabbit out of a hat. So somebody's definitely delusional. Okay, so that's the Seven of Cups. I want to make sure I'm good on. And yeah, that's Scorpio. So someone's passionate about just living in La La Land. Okay, so that's your Libra reading. Libra and Scorpio, very passionate, unbalanced, delusional type of person. Hopefully they do seek professional help, or at least attempt to ground themselves before they end up grounded or in somebody's prison or mental prison. All right, hope this helps. Hope this resonates. If it doesn't, leave the rest behind. Like, share, and subscribe. Somebody needs to hear some words of wisdom. Somebody needs to hear direction and instruction, okay? And transparency is very important in the near future. Bad ear is still getting that swimmer's ear. I have not been swimming, okay? All right, so you have been with Nyx, and that was your 12 zodiac general reading. Hopefully you got what you need and we got what we want. All right, don't come for me because somebody almost definitely sent you saliva, wet mouth.